Okay, that one worked. Why didn't Twitch work? Okay, Twitch did work. Why did it not tell me it worked? Rexport winning again. Also, Rexport, in your album Crusade, have you listened to any Stevie Wonder? Because he's pretty culturally important, right? How are you doing today, Rexport? I forgot to ask that. That's a good first question. I got it. I know, that's what I was thinking. I know. So fake of me. But I completely forget about Stevie Wonder. He doesn't cross my mind. Because I haven't listened to much by him. Which I really should. I used to have a line for this. Was it C4? C4 might have been my line. Made pizza day? Ooh, made pizza. I'm doing pretty well. I'm just chilling. Enjoying my break before I go back to school. Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue? No, I have not. We're staying on theme. Is that by Stevie Wonder or is that by someone else? I just made you think of it. I did watch, actually, I forgot to update my Discord on some of the stuff I've watched. I watched 2 movies without updating Discord. Whoopsie. Let me just add them. Because it took me a while to rank them because I was a little bit divided. So, added 2 movies to my list. You have Isn't She Lovely? It's just a feel-good song by Stevie Wonder. Again, I know that he's a legend. And I know that he is like responsible for a ton of just developments in music in general. Actually, why is this full screen? I know my windows set the way I normally have them yet. I was trying to go live because I had gotten distracted. Funny bit. I was listening to Pastime Paradise. That's what made me think of it. Is because I heard someone mention that Gangster's Paradise takes a ridiculous amount from Pastime Paradise. And I had never heard of Pastime Paradise. And I'm just like, okay, that sounds fake. Right? Sounds like someone on the internet being someone on the internet. Show the shirt? Oh, bad puns. That's how I roll. Oh, I forgot I had a different shirt I wanted to wear. What am I doing? What am I doing? This is a terrible position for me now. Oh, just awful. Just awful. I have to play something stupid like this. Paramore? You mentioned you liked Paramore a lot, I remember. Anyway. So I was listening to Pastime Paradise. I was like, this is actually just Gangster's Paradise. Which is crazy. You're my favorite polar bear? Thank you. I think that's a compliment. Is that a fat joke? I mean, I don't really care, but... Freestyle tournament? I've seen that as happening, but I haven't watched any of it. Whitney Houston? Oh, Whitney Houston can sing. Big fan of Paramore, just great vocal performances. Yeah, again, I remember you mentioning how much you liked Paramore. At least I seem to remember you mentioning how much you liked Paramore. Yeah. It's good to find things you enjoy. That's a good thing. As contrasted with things you do not enjoy, like how I don't enjoy this position. What was I saying? Oh yes, I want to wear a different shirt. Okay, when this game is over, when I beat this guy, I'm going to switch shirts. Not on stream. I have bought chess courses, but I have not bought any from Chessable. I have bought 2 of Gotham Chess's courses. Both of which I'm quite happy with. And I have And I have bought 2 books from a service that just makes it so you can have a chessboard with like actual chess books. But I've not bought any courses from Chessable. It's 960 chess? Why did nobody tell me this? I would love to see a 960 chess tournament. What? I did a terrible job marketing that. Or maybe I'm just dumb. I had no idea. That's so cool. I'm a big believer in 960 chess. Like everyone else. Art Gotham Chess course is overpriced. So, I bought 2 of his courses. The first one I bought before he was famous. Well, he was famous at the time, but before he was like as big as he is. And so I got it for cheaper, and I've just gotten updates on it the entire time. Kramnik, I do think cheating is a bigger problem than most people give it credit for. Well, Kramnik's out of line. So basically just the default take. It's pretty non-controversial at this point, unless you're Kramnik. So, the second course I bought was useful for both me and my little brother, so I think it was worth it. Plus, I think he does a very good job explaining things. Is it overpriced? Maybe. But see, here's the overpriced thing. When you buy a Gotham chess course, you are paying for what I'm going to call the influencer difference, which is basically the fact that you know how he teaches, and you will know if it works for you or not, right? If you buy a Gotham course, you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. And so because of that, there's a certain level of security that doesn't exist if you're buying a course from someone else who might also make amazing courses, but isn't Gotham Chess. And so, yeah, I saw this, and I was scared of it, but I was planning on sacking the rook. I haven't decided if I actually can or not. I'm gonna do it. No, I saw this. I was just planning on sacking the rook. Oh, my queen gets pinned. I forgot about the queen pin. I'm stupid. Okay. So, it doesn't bother me as much when someone like a Gotham Chess charges more for something, because it like makes sense to me. Maybe it should. Maybe I'm out of line for that, but guarantee on those lesser known chess teachers. I'm pretty sure there's a money back guarantee on the Gotham one as well. There was when I bought it. The first one in this. I'm not saying it's bad, but people don't want to have to deal with money back guarantees. People just want it to work. Again, I'm not saying you should buy from Gotham Chess. I'm saying there is a reason why someone would. That's my point. Should you or should you do not is your financial decision. It's your money. You know how much it's worth to you. I can't tell you that. But, like, there are rational reasons too. You know what? They totally should. Or they're actually smart and, like, go 2 rooks for the queen. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You're not paying for a higher quality course as much as you're paying for more security in the quality of the course. Which I don't see anything wrong with that. As long as you know that's what you're getting yourself into. Like, I see it wrong if you're trying to lie to somebody about it. But as long as you know that's what you're getting yourself into, I don't see an issue with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, he spent a lot of time building up a very good reputation in the chess community. I know some people clown on him for stuff, whatever. But, like, in general, he's got a very good reputation. And, like, so saying, okay, I have a good reputation, so I can charge more because of it. Like, good job, you have a good reputation. You know? I don't see that as problematic at all. Again. So it's not like, again, I mean, he's not trying to claim he's the best. I mean, he says on his website there for 2,000 and below. I think he's underselling himself a little bit. But, like, apostatize. Apostatize. I can read. It's apostatize. So I don't again, to me, an overpriced product is only a scam if you're lying about it or trying to hide the alternatives. I don't see Gotham doing either, so I don't have a problem, even if you think its course is overpriced, which they very well may be. I'm not too sure of the competition and where it's at to have a educated opinion in that regard, but I'm not afraid of that being the case, because I definitely don't feel scammed by either of the Gotham courses, especially the first one. Yeah. It used to be 2200 lib. Liberated toaster, I mean, sorry, slip of the tongue. Anyway, because, like, I don't know if I've mentioned it recently. Just doesn't pay that much? Yeah, I mean, again, I don't think he's doing anything wrong. I mentioned this before, but when I bought the Gotham E4 course, I bought it back when it was a Google Drive link. Not Google Drive. It was a... What's the other one? That's not Google Drive, it's Dropbox. It was a Dropbox link where he got you a file that was like 2 gigabytes. And it was just a bunch of videos of him and then some PGN files, right? But every time he's updated the course and put it on a new website, I've gotten the update for free. Even though I bought it for cheaper than anyone else did. I bought it for cheaper because it was cheaper back when I bought it. And still, I've gotten the upgrade free every time. Which is what he should do. That, in my opinion, is how he should do that. But he did do it that way. And I respect that. And I appreciate it. We're decreasing. Okay, so you want to know why my elo's been going down every time I've streamed? You want me to explain to you? I have the reason. It's been a long time. The reason is because I've stopped drinking caffeine before my streams. Because it has been negatively impacting my sleep quality for a long time. I've been sleeping significantly better. I've been sleeping significantly better now that I am not doing caffeine before my streams and before chess club. No. If you could commit any crime and it would prevent the crime from being committed again. Watching the head again. What crime are you choosing? So it has to be like a legal crime. No, it doesn't, because you don't understand how much coffee helps me with chess. Yes, was rated. Hello, Void. Long time no see. I swear coffee increases my elo by at least 200%, 200 elo, maybe 300. It's been a while since I tested. Last I tested it was 300, but it might be 2. It's not close. You don't understand. Many crime, committing it, want to prevent worldwide. Well, see, here's the thing. Punching someone in the head isn't the crime. The crime is battery or assault. Right? So that's the kind of weird thing for me. Is it a crime or is it the thing itself? So with punching someone in the head, it's not an addiction. I don't have an addiction issue. It just helps. It just makes my sleep worse. Sweets help too. They help, but not as much. The caffeine is so good. Let's go share Udemy Masterclass. I have not used any of those. I've gotten a course from Great Courses, and it was a Jeremy Silman introduction to chess. It was a little bit below my level, but I just like listening to him talk. And it was a Christmas present, and I liked it, so I enjoyed that. But most of those websites I don't do because I feel like unless you're specializing in something and you need the specialized information, you're better off with just general stuff like YouTube or books. Because I trust books more than I trust those course websites. So if I want to learn something, I buy a book. Or I get a book on Audible or something. Let's say the crime. Is Genius answer for this? Well, see, that's the problem. The Genius answer changes depending on whether it's the crime, like the actual legal crime, or if it's the thing itself. Because, like, if I could just lie and make it so no one else could ever lie again, that's what I would do. But lying isn't a crime. There's like a weird different legal definitions of it. You can't put me in jail because I told you something that wasn't true. It has to be like false marketing or something, you know? I might be wrong about that. And here's drug enhanced performance equal cheating. It would be if the FIDE rules didn't specifically allow for a certain amount of caffeine, which they do. And the amount of caffeine they allow is like below eight shots of espresso. It's some insane amount. I've looked into the regulations because I actually had that same concern. It's completely allowed as long as you're below, I think it's like 800 milligrams or something, which I already limit myself to not more than 200 a day. So I'm completely fine. I have looked into that. Yeah, I mean, it's a true fact. I can't spell caffeine. Let me just... Where did I read this? I found it. It was like 2 years ago where I read this. I don't remember how much caffeine, but it was a very extreme amount. Maybe it was Laws of Chess. Let me just see if I can find this stuff. Okay, there's no caffeine in this one. There's anti-doping rules, of course. Play online chess. Well, that would be chess.com's rules, not FIDE's, right? Regularities, recording of moves, drawn games, points, conduct of the players, role of the arbiter, rapid chess, blitz, algebraic notation, visually disabled, guidelines, adjourned games, chess 960. Nah, it's not here. I don't remember. Hello, suspended. Control F. I already did Control F. You just can't see it because it's the bottom of my screen. Look, I'll switch to the overlay. Yeah, but they don't do caffeine tests at over-the-board tournaments in general. So far, so good. Losing a bunch of chess, losing an insane amount of ELO because I've stopped drinking caffeine before streams because it makes my sleep impossible. Trying to remember. I've read through the FIDE handbook's regulations a few times. Because when I've had questions, it's not financial, non-elected, honors and awards, ethics, anti-cheating maybe? It might be an anti-cheating. How many hours do you aim to sleep? 8. I don't think I hit 8 every time. Anti-cheating regulations, I suppose? Doesn't help that I can't spell caffeine. Procedure. False accusation, sandbagging, manipulation. Again, I've found it. It's just they changed the handbook's organization. I usually aim for 8. I don't think I hit 8 super often, but... again, they've changed the layout from last time I've checked. It used to be one big book. Which that wasn't much better, I'm not gonna lie, but... Aha! Anti-doping regulations. Here we are! Anti-doping rules. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Definition of doping. I don't know that I can't spell caffeine. Can you just, like, give me... Prohibited list. Here we go. Where's the prohibited list? Okay, now we're talking. They changed it, but we'll find it. Give me a second. Now I want to know. Now I'm curious. Incorporate the prohibited list. WADA. Definition. Therapeutic use exceptions. Of course. WADA prohibited list. Give me a second. It's not finding caffeine. Here we go. Stimulants. That would be page 14. No caffeine. Here, caffeine, not caffeine. It's narcotics. Ugh. See, this is what part of the problem with FIDE. Like, literally it says that water, coffee, tea, and soft drinks should be made available for players and staff free of charge. Like, coffee and tea are both caffeinated. This is the problem. This is one of the problems with FIDE. Nothing is clear. Everything takes so much digging to actually figure out if it's okay or not. It's just such a mess. Probably spelling caffeine wrong. Might be part of the problem. Probably part of the problem. Still not here. Piece of junk. Caffeine's not on this one. Here it is. Here we go. See, this is the problem. Yeah, no, this is all terrible. Substances not present in the prohibited list but represented in the monitoring program is caffeine. Okay. Any less than 12 micrograms poses no problem. So 12 micrograms per milliliter. How much caffeine is that? How much caffeine to get 12 micrograms per milliliter? Urine. Impossible. Yeah, here it is. The legal limit under previous restrictions was 12 micrograms per milliliter in urine, which is roughly equivalent to drinking 8 servings of espresso over the course of a few hours. There we go. We found it. It only took us 8 years. FIDE didn't ban cleavage, but there's no way you can have cleavage with the FIDE dress code. Bro, you can't wear anything with FIDE dress code. FIDE dress code is stupid. There needs to be a dress code. I understand that, but it's way off. So there you go. 8 servings of espresso over the course of a few hours. I refuse to have more than 2, maybe 3 espressos a day. So I'm well below. Yes, there technically are anti-caffeine regulations. But they are lax in the sense that a sane and rational human being will never go past this. You have to be intentionally doping to get past this, really. 8 cups of coffee during a chess tournament over the course of a few hours. You have to have a major problem. And I'm saying it's possible, but at that point, okay, the rules, like, this makes sense. Yeah, the problem is local agents don't care. Right? Why does FIDE need their website to be legible? They don't care. No skin off their back. There you go. What are you feeling about that one, Void? Feeling betrayed? What is this? Delayed. Delayed Smith-Morra nonsense. Oh, he wants my head. On a platter. I respect it. Hate the Smith-Morra. I'm not sure how we got here, but we're here. I just played the boring way. Normally I do too, but I got bamboozled. I got tricked because I wasn't paying enough attention. My mistake, but don't get me wrong. This is very close to hanging. Bought concert tickets? What concert were you going to again? I don't remember. Let's see if I can be annoying. The threat, of course, is Queen B6. Maybe I should have played this knight here after I played Queen B6? No, this was good. Now he's got a problem. I mean, exchange. This pawn is just so scary. Imagine I could go bishop takes, then knight here. That would be so sick. I can't, though, but I really wish I could. I really want to. That's what I'm saying. I really want to. The problem is he also has, like, bishop here afterwards, so it doesn't even pretend to work. Let's boot the knight. Because where does it go? Good dab. This is the goofiest position I've had in a long time. I can't decide if I'm winning or losing. But definitely something's happening. Is my queen trapped? Nope. Oh, kind of a silly move then. Can I go here? Or here? I'll go here. And I'll have to give him this knight, but I don't care. I actually like to take this. I can't decide if I'm losing or not. We're clawing it back, boys. Do you watch any YouTube channel for improving communication skills? I used to. It's going to sound dumb, but when I was younger, in like 16, younger than that even, I watched some of those like dumb charisma on command, alpha, sigma male channels, because while I recognize now that they're stupid, at the time I didn't. And so, while I wouldn't attribute my communication success to those channels, I would say they did something, because I feel like a lot of the time, those sorts of channels end up being right about the concept, but wrong in the attribution. In the sense that they're like, okay, this is a thing that happens, but they don't give the correct reason as to why it happens. Or what it means. I wouldn't say it went so far as Giga Chad. It wasn't great. All the Ben Shapiro stuff, Jordan Peterson, all that fun. See, it's suspended. F-pawn looks terrifying. I am coping right now. It's in exchange for that F-pawn, and I think he's got the sweet side of that deal. So even today, I hold the belief that a lot of those channels are right about some things, but they don't give the right reasons. D5? I didn't like D5 because I didn't like closing this bishop off. That felt bad. I wanted to keep the queen there. I feel like that was better, but this doesn't look terrible either. So that was just my point, is I could take this afterwards, and now the rook's under attack. Now, that might be stupid, but... Have you done any public speaking? I took a public speaking class in high school. But that was after I gained my communication skills, so I wouldn't attribute much to that. And I've done a little bit of like speaking on camera. Not much. Looks like did I just blunder into a draw? Yeah, I did. He can go. Just check and check infinitely. The Sigma rabbit hole is real. Yeah, I think luckily, I'm going to call it luckily because I think it was very close to luck. I didn't end up getting too deep into it, but I definitely was moving in that direction. And plus, maybe this is doomer pilled, but I feel like the Sigma rabbit hole wasn't as bad back then. Like, it wasn't as dangerous. That's what I mean. And so, like, a lot of the things that they said was wrong. So, but, like, wrong in why, not wrong in what. So, for example, the eye contact thing. Like, they're like, okay, so you want to be trying to make eye contact with the person who's talking in general. And if you're the one who's talking, try to, like, take turns making eye contact with different people. If you're in a conversation with, like, 3 other people, right? Which... And then the reason was something about evolutionary psychology and people want to be dominated by your eyes. Something stupid like that. So the reasoning they gave the advice was completely idiotic. But the actual advice of eye contact with the person who's talking and then otherwise just randomize it, very helpful. Extremely helpful. Right? It's not that complicated, but a lot of people have that intuitively, and so it's not something that people often feel the need to teach. Right? That's not something that's taught because most people do it automatically. Maybe not most. A lot of people do it automatically. Enough people do it automatically that it's not something that is just taught as like, oh, here's the thing that you need to know. Everyone's like, okay, everyone already does this. I'm not saying people are evil for that. I'm just saying that's where the Sigma male stuff helped. Isn't it like incel subculture? It's leaning into that direction. It's a little different. Incels are more, I can't ever be that way. Sigma males are, I can and I will. And it's based to be that. Like, basically the difference between alpha males and incels, alpha males, the Sigma males and incels, is do they think it's possible to get there? Right? Incels believe the same thing. They just think, I can't ever do it. I'm just dead, so why does it matter? It's a very similar belief system. You talk a lot because you're insecure about something? I talk a lot because I'm insecure about a lot of things. What's your point? Hey, Vox, how you holding up? You watch Andrew Tate? No, Andrew Tate wasn't a thing back then. He just wasn't in the cultural zeitgeist. Andrew Tate's a fairly recent development. Wasn't Queen F4 more comfortable? Maybe. No, Queen F4 lost the queen immediately. Well, not maybe, definitely not. Yeah, Blending the Queen is definitely more comfortable. Now, Andrew Tate wasn't, like, it changes every few years who those people are, but I'm doing super well. I'm super excited for Rivals 2, Vox. I contributed to the Kickstarter, and I am hyped. What do you think about him? So, I don't know. What I don't know is I don't know if it's because I'm older and somewhat more mature and I see it how it is now, or if it's because it actually is worse, but it feels like Tate is worse than the Sigma male stuff that I had when I was younger. I don't know if he is worse, but he seems worse. Andrew Tate's like, I'd say he has like a 90-10 split with saying stupid stuff and saying stuff that's real. And so it's dangerous because depending on what the clip is, he can either sound like a completely sane and rational, although maybe a little bit controversial individual, or just completely insane. Plus, I think he's built his entire life off of scamming people, and I just inherently think that's a bad thing for multiple reasons. And so I don't respect someone who's built their life like that because I don't think it's brave. I think it's cowardly. Is logical? Kind of. But logic could take you basically anywhere. It all depends on starting assumptions. And I do not care for his pick of starting assumptions. There we go. Now we trade queens. Because it feels like all his content is being based off negativity and drama. Yeah, it is. It is. Chess? Yeah. No, that's not true though. It would be easier if that were true. He sometimes says stuff that's smart and makes sense, right? Most of the time he doesn't. And by sometimes, again, I mean 10% maybe, optimistically. I haven't watched enough take content to know if it's actually 10% or if it's just 10% of the clips that friends of mine who do watch Andrew Tate have sent me. But that's why it's so dangerous. He's so dangerous because some of the stuff he says makes sense. And few other people are saying. But it's such a small percentage of it that it's like a huge problem. Anything rational or reasonable? So, I'm going to give you a very stupid example. Okay? A very stupid example. So there was an interview once where Tate was talking about OnlyFans or something. And he was like, okay, if a girl is doing OnlyFans, her boyfriend, like, needs to be, not a part of it, but, like, he needs to be involved in the decision, because it's not just her business, right? Now, that makes some sense. However, then the follow-up question was, okay, but does it go the same way the other way? If a guy's doing OnlyFans, does his potential girlfriend need to be involved as well? And the issue is, he said, I'm not sure. That's what I mean, right? If you clip it before this follow-up question, then he said something that makes sense. But after the follow-up question, it like completely lost the grain. You know what I mean? That's an example. It's not the best example, but that's an example. This was bad. I feel like I'm asking for trouble here. This was never as bad as I thought it was. Okay, what should I have played here? Should I just takes? Takes, bishop takes, king h8, and I'm just chilling. I should. Except I hate the platform with all my heart. Who do you think are better influencers than him today? You want a list? That's like hundreds of them. I feel like the misogyny is the worst part of Andrew Tate movement. It's one of the worst parts. If not the worst. I might agree with it being the worst. If not, it's close. Maybe it is. But motivation doesn't... bad motivation doesn't mean he's wrong. You know what I mean? And I think he kind of feeds off of people who make those sorts of arguments. Well, that's his point. His point was the significant other can't, you can't say, oh, it's a you problem if you're not okay with it. It's like, it's not a decision you get to make alone, was his point. If you want to break up with them because that's a decision that you want to make and they don't, then that's fine. But that was not the point. The point was, it's not a decision she makes alone, and then if he's not okay with it, then he's the problem. That's the thing. That's what he was disagreeing with. From the clip I saw, which again, out of context, who knows? I don't know. Johnny Harris. Maybe I know that name. Let me check. there aren't many good in... Maybe I do know this guy. Johnny Harris is okay. I thought I recognized this guy's name. His research is not amazing. And his research is not amazing. I would even go as far as to call it somewhat weak occasionally, which is a little dangerous because he presents everything he presents with a very firm, objective stance. He claims to be an objective source while he's very much not, and I don't like that. See, people shouldn't claim to be objective sources. Like, you should, like, just people in general, including myself. If I ever do that, just, like, slap me. Really bad thing overall. I somewhat disagree with that. I don't have a problem with it, Vox, if it's, like, separated enough. Where that can't be the only thing. That can't be a big enough pillar where if it breaks, you're not going to be okay. Real life lore? Real life lore? There aren't many better ones. You can't... I like Kraut, but he's had his problems too. Some of his videos have just been straight up wrong. So... I haven't watched Real Life Lore in a long time. I don't remember if I've ever seen one of his videos, so I don't know. But here's the thing, you can't have one source, Ronnie, just in general. You can't. It's not going to end well. Hello, back at you. Welcome back. You can't have one source. As soon as you have one source, you're going to run into problems. Carl Weathers? Yes, I did know that. I do actually know this name. I didn't watch much he was in, but... Let me just make sure. Yep. Crazy. He was in Rocky? Yeah, he was also in The Mandalorian, right? I'm not getting confused with someone else. I sometimes do that. So, I just have a fundamental issue with people having one source. Channels are heavily biased anyway. Exactly. So you have multiple news channels, which takes more effort. That's the difficult part. It's harder, right? It's harder to have multiple sources because you have to do your own research. Because even I don't use it, so I don't know if it's any good or not. But it's also not relevant to my point. That ground news service that a bunch of YouTubers are shilling for. It might be great, but the problem is they're going to have biases too. It's going pretty well, Antians. My Elo's in the dumps, but otherwise we're chilling. Again, you find a few people. You have to keep reevaluating because people get better, people get worse. You can't, like... So like Veritasium has in general shown a very good source. However, a few times, especially when it comes to electric vehicles, he's kind of done a worse job than he normally does. You know? No, because you're still trying to find people who are less biased, but you still need more than one. I mean, honestly, if you're aware that they're Zionist and a Muslim fundamentalist, then actually kind of. Low-key, yes. Now, I would say you're looking for people who are closer to the middle. At least I do. But still on both sides of it. So, like, again, Veritasium in general has shown to be do very good research. However, occasionally, he'll get something wrong. Like, his electric car videos, to my knowledge, are not amazing. They're a little more... Political might be the wrong word. They're a little more rhetorical than he normally is, right? So that doesn't mean you throw out all of Veritasium. That just means you keep an eye on it, right? Veritasium still, in general, shows to be a good source of information. He's just not a perfect source of information, which, okay, fine. Even if you disagree with the perspective, just having it around is going to be handy. That's kind of my point. Dumb example. Again, I'm only going to give dumb examples because it's hard for me to give good examples here. Dumb example. I often watch like a genetically modified skeptic and other, not even atheist, but anti-Christian YouTube channels because I just want to make sure I understand what someone else's perspective is, even if I disagree with it, because that's honestly what I'm trying to appeal to here. Even if you're going to disagree, even if you're sure you're going to disagree, it doesn't necessarily matter that much to me. Just understand why you disagree. Christopher Hitchens. I think I've seen one or two of these things. Are you an Orthodox Christian? No, I'm a Protestant Christian. I think I've seen one or two of his videos. No, I haven't seen much Christopher Hitchens. I feel like I've heard his name somewhere. Like, I feel like I've seen something, but I don't know much. What's the difference? Protestants, I'm not going to say we don't believe in a big organized church, but we don't have a big organized church with a head like a pope. He's a known anti-theist. I haven't heard a bunch from him. Again, I'm not claiming to be perfect at it. I've definitely missed, and I should be doing more than I am. But I'm just saying I try to some degree. 94, I don't think it was that scary for him, especially since you could have just taken that. But yeah, I feel like I've seen some arguments from him. Who is this? I know this. I've heard like someone, Cosmic Skeptic, I've heard talk about Christopher Hitchens, but I've never seen anything directly from Christopher Hitchens. So I would say no. I do not know enough about him. I'm comfortable saying yes, I'd watch his stuff. I haven't seen anything about it. He was knowing a bishop. I don't think his bishop's that good. I really don't. I think it looks better than it is. But, so I would say no. I'm not against. I should at some point, but again, I'm not perfect at it. And because it's kind of emotionally tiring to hear someone constantly rag on your beliefs, right? I'm not saying they're wrong for doing it. I'm just saying, like, as a human, it's difficult. So I don't do it constantly. Bishop d3 looks scary. I'm just going to play rook e1, and what does it do? Like, I mean... And then he stopped? That's hilarious. Veganism I get. I'm not vegan, but I can understand. I've known a few vegans. And I get the perspective. I might. I will. I'm playing rated random games until I lose, and then I'm playing unrated against viewers. Vegans are smart? Yay. Why? For veganism? I feel like I could. Maybe I don't know. Again, I haven't done enough research into veganism to know where I stand on it firmly. But from the little I've heard, it makes sense. Like, I get where they're coming from. Well, I think emotion is kind of an important part of the argument for veganism. Right? Because, like, a central part of it is how mistreated animals are, at least from the people I've known who are vegans. Don't know if that's, like, a thing for every vegan or if that's the thing just from the vegans I've known, but... How do I make progress in this position? I guess I could try knight d2, f3, e4. That's a little speculative, but on the other hand, that's basically my chess. My queen's a bit misplaced too, which is part of the problem, I think. Actually, you know what we're going to do first? We're going to double on the c file. Because that's just a straight improvement of our rooks. e4 and exd4 and break up in the center. It makes some sense, but I don't know if it helps me more than it helps him. That's basically the question I'm asking myself about every plan. It doesn't help me more than it helps him. And out of all the dynamics in the position, one that helps me is his bishop's worse than mine because he's got all these light squared pawns. And so I'm not sure if going for a big violent break in the center helps me more because he's got such a bad pawn structure. Oh yeah, also can you please not suggest moves during raid games? Thank you, I completely forgot, Ronnie. I completely forgot. Bless my heart. So like, this is part of my problem. Do I want to trade bishops here? I could like just go this and then try and push like e4 or something. It's so hard. So hard. I'm gonna go here. Because he can't take on a3 anymore. That's part of what I've done. Is by playing rook c3 the way I have, is I've prevented... okay, now he's doubling up. Okay, I'm going to try and outplay him in the completely equal resulting position. Maybe it's a mistake. I think he can play knight takes a3 now. I got blundered. Piece of junk. Piece of junk. Hello, Red Penguin. Okay, but this is holdable, I think. Lost a pawn, yeah. Stupid move on my part. But I mean, this isn't the easiest to defend. I might have some counterplay. If I can make him play super defensively. Huh. I actually think that was pretty smart of him. Again, I'm playing for counterplay here. I'm not playing to win the pawn back immediately. Did you catch my redeem? Pick my opening. Yes. What opening did you want, Antians? Yeah, I'm not very good at making waiting moves. Because I just don't like it. Italian of white, Caro of black. You got it. Problem is if I go knight here, he can go knight here, right? And he holds it all. The resulting knight endgame, can't decide if it's winning for him or if it's just good for him. I think I want to keep queens on the board. Maybe that's dumb, but I feel like I do. Do you even play the Caro? No. But I can't. Okay, sorry. I thought that was funny. Opponent's playing well, what can I say? What do you think? What do I think about the immigration of Muslims into Sweden? I see, it's really complicated. It's because I think it's pretty easily shown that immigration, especially of peoples with vastly different ideological beliefs, causes a significant amount of, I'm going to call it cultural strife. Now, the question is, does it provide enough to kind of be worth it, to put it a little bit weirdly? I feel like it does, but I'm not sure I have a super objective kind of logical reason why I think that, as contrasted with something like ooh, I feel like that's the case, right? How'd your last tournament go? I got 6 out of 9, which put me at like 9th place, 8th place, something like that. I gained like 50 elo, so from that perspective, it was success, but I'm not super satisfied. I think I could have done better. Black Knight is real annoying. There's a lot of annoying things in this position. Yeah, it's difficult because again, it's another topic where I feel like I want to do the research and I'm going to, but I have yet to do enough research where I'm comfortable being sure in my perspective, as contrasted with just having a perspective. I have a perspective because I think it, like I try to have a perspective on just about everything, but I'm not 100% on it because I haven't done what I would call enough research. How much did you have classical in? Like 1600. I can get more. I've gained elo every time I've gone to a tournament. What was the average elo of that tournament? I can't remember. It's difficult not to have an opinion on things, but... And so I'm trying to give up not having an opinion. That's kind of what I mean with the objective-subjective thing. I'm not sure if humans in general, or just me as a human, am capable of being objective. So instead of doing that, I'm basically just at this point saying, okay, I know I'm not objective. So I'm going to try to list off my biases and what I don't know. And hopefully that's enough. Crossing my fingers. See, I don't like that argument. I don't like that argument. I feel like there are legitimate arguments for why you would want to reduce immigration, to use a very, very soft wording. I don't like that one. I think that's one of the worst ones. A little bit. Because like I said, it does cause what I'm going to call cultural strife. Because you no longer have a culture where you can assume everyone has the same ideological background, which makes things more difficult. It does. And so that's kind of why it's not clear to me. It's because, like, okay, what are we gaining as a universe for making things more difficult? Now, I think, from personal experience, I think you gain a certain perspective and a certain ability to empathize with people, which I think is worth it. But that's not a educated opinion, that's an uneducated opinion. I think it's worth it. I don't have data that indicates to me that's worth it. You know? That's kind of what that's the problem with that one, is while I do have an opinion, it's an uneducated opinion because I have simply not educated myself enough as of right now. Now, the thing is, I'm also someone who has moved across countries when I was 13. So I am an immigrant. It's a weird word for it because, like, I don't think I'm an immigrant, but I'm definitely a migrant. China one-child policy. You're 2068? Yeah, it's going to be worse. No, I'm going to be 2069, actually. But it's pretty bad. I'm having a bad week because I'm 460. Well, that's pretty nice. I mean, that's good. I used to be 2200 cup, but the thing is, I've stopped drinking coffee before my streams because I want to sleep better, and it has been working. I have been sleeping better, but as a consequence, my chest on stream has gotten worse. Okay, I'll update the title, and I'll start playing against viewers. You want people who work. I think most immigrants don't find jobs, go stealing things. So here's the thing, Void. Okay, how are you supposed to find work if when you're moved in, everybody hates you, you have no idea what the culture is, and you're thrown into slums? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like part of the problem is immigrants are not treated well in a lot of these countries. Not entirely maliciously, but mass immigration? That one's even harder. That one's even harder. Oh, come in. I mean...
I wanted to see.
The camera does not go past this monitor, so you're there, you can't be seen. Thank you. I'm not gonna dabble, I'm holding this. Ooh. Look, it's a peanut butter oatmeal bar. Okay. Yeah. She doesn't want to be seen, but she's in chat, so. Talking English at home? Yeah. My mom finds it easier. I would have difficulty talking Macedonian at home, but I could do it. But I'm the strongest one at Macedonian in my family, other than my dad, whose first language it is, so it's not quite fair. Yep. You sit up straight. Thank you, Kabedi, for the follow. Okay, who am I playing first? I see no problem immigrants taking jobs. Absolutely. But the problem, someone, is that it's very difficult for them too, because, like, xenophobia is a thing. We're doing pretty well. We're discussing immigration. That's a fun one. Take your time, Void. If you're having trouble with English, take your time with it. Even if you're a little bit late to the conversation, it doesn't bother me whatsoever. Benefits of ADHD, I can keep up with it, or I can try. I know English is a pain. It's a very annoying language. A lot of words and weird grammar. Again, my dad was an immigrant, so it's like I'm going to inherently have a more pro-immigrant perspective than you would see in most people, I think. In the Netherlands, Ukrainians are basically all working since they got allowed while Eastern immigrants don't get work visas. White immigrants come to take benefits and do not work. Yeah. Hello, Lucas. Our history teacher already talked about this, but I can't translate the same words to English. Take your time. Do you stand by the people who support mustard on hot dogs, or against them? Only have a neutral party. Mustard is terrible on everything. I cannot think of a context where I am pro-mustard. They already say I'm basically deaf? No, but it makes sense. I cannot think of a context where I am pro-mustard. I hate mustard. It is a blight on humanity. A blight, I tell you. Far whatever wing is anti-mustard. I'm the anti-mustard wing. You tell me what that would be. No, not with fries. Not on hot dogs. Not with pretzels. No. Mustard, no. I'm a mustard racist. I hope mustard racist is an actual term and I just admitted something terrible. Although, that would be very funny. I really hope mustard racist doesn't mean anything. I'm a little scared now, not gonna lie. I feel like I play with fire. Blex. Ooh. Yeah, the queue's pretty long. We got a good number of people today. I'm not complaining. I'm quite happy about it. I have no idea. That's why I was comfortable saying it, because I couldn't think of a stereotype which would work with mustard. I'm Googling it. Okay. Mustard racist is not a term. I'm good. I'm safe. That was dangerous. I think he's being provocative. Magnus. I mean, come on. GOAT already is like a half joke term. You know? Like, no one, like, come on. A random tournament hosted by Magnus is not going to determine the greatest chess player of all time. Magnus knows that. You're not going to turn to use agents in the 1960s? Yeah, you totally made that up. You totally made that up. Come on, guys. They prefer to choose a time format? It's his tournament. Who cares? More tournaments in chess. Let's go. Big W. Well, yeah, but okay, but it's not a world championship match. That's a different conversation, Hub. He's hosting a tournament and inviting whoever he wants. It's his tournament. Exactly local. Magnus knows that. Come on. You hate mustard, you said? Yes. Hate mustard. Root beer! I'm more of a cream soda kind of guy. I do like root beer, though. $95 is winning? When? Oh, here? Yeah, probably. Is that root beer right now? Fair enough. Root beer is very good. Excellent choice. So Magnus hosting his own tournament and then inviting whoever he wants to his tournament. It's like complaining that you're not invited to someone's birthday party, you know what I mean? It's like, okay. Host your own birthday party. You know? Yeah, it's like, it's such a non-issue. Like it's such a non-issue to me. It's like a good thing. Let people host their own tournaments. It's a good, I love that. We should have more tournaments in chess, not less, not fewer. So someone hosting a tournament and inviting who they want to said tournament, I don't care. A neighboring city of mine, the guy there is one of the premier arbiters in the entire country, right? And every month he hosts a tournament that's just like 18 people, and it's just basically guys from his city and some friends from other cities. Now it's not like it doesn't apply to the FIDE rating list. It's just a casual thing. No, that's based. Root beer tastes different when it's coming from the actual bottle rather than a cup. That's just an objective fact. All right, you just gotta do it. Like, who loses? You know what I mean? I can only see wins coming from hosting your own tournament and doing whatever the heck you want. You also lost a pawn? Yeah. I was suspiciously close to losing a pawn. Time to play Ultra Kill. I wait for my opponent to play based. Funny, the sequel. The sequel is better than the original. He did it. I'm not complaining. It's one more penny than I had however long ago. It is weird. You know what, Hubskirt? You're absolutely correct. I didn't think about that. My opinion has completely changed. Now I think Magnus is evil and the worst thing that ever happened to chess. Long live Hans Niemann. Any more questions? 20. Third installment that falls flat. I don't know. It kind of goes hard. Kind of goes hard. Why is the third one always terrible? It's like Kung Fu Panda, Shrek, Terminator, Matrix. The Matrix 3 wasn't that bad. Welcome back, Vox. Toy Story 3 is good. Ah, Toy Story 3, an excellent point. Pixar breaking the rules per usual. Oh, I know Unlike Pluto. I'm familiar with him. Yes. No, you're right. Toy Story 3 was good. I know he's famous. I only know like 2 songs by him, but I do know 2 songs by him. I think that one. Honestly, but my opinion has always been Toy Story is overrated in general. So you gotta watch out. You gotta remember. I don't like Toy Story in general. Toy Story hater. Okay, I wouldn't say I'm a Toy Story hater. It's just I know lots of his songs. Oh, I'm sure. He's much closer to your style of music than he is mine, so it doesn't surprise me that you're more familiar with his work than I am. Yeah, Tom Hanks did a really good job in that role. You wouldn't know it's him, which is really hard because since Tom Hanks is like a pretty darn well-known actor. So like Tom Hanks being not unrecognizable is quite impressive if you ask me. Incredibles is third best, behind Wall-E and Ratatouille. Incredibles 1 is number 3. Wall-E and Ratatouille are just both too goated. Yeah, I do love Incredibles. This is not an Incredibles bad. This is Wall-E and Ratatouille goated, right? This is not an insult to the Incredibles. Love Incredibles. Where's Incredibles on my movies list? It's high. Incredibles is number 23. It's the 23rd best movie of all time, according to this guy. Yeah, you know, I could respect Incredibles being best. Ratatouille and Wall-E are both artsier, and I like artsier movies. So, like more pretentious movies is the way my family puts it. And so because of that, I'm going to pick Wall-E and Ratatouille over Incredibles. But like, it's not a like sweep, you know. That looks winning. This is a very weird position. I'm just very suspicious of White's position in general. Yeah, they're all amazing movies. And I'm never going to be like, ooh, upset that someone calls one of them better, one of them the best one. Yep. Pixar is like the best that... I think like Incredibles, Wall-E, and Ratatouille are like head and shoulders above the other Pixar movies. The other ones are good, but those 3 are like... How'd you know the song just ended? Did you time that, Void? Literally, as I saw the message, the song ended. Ridiculous. Yep. See, I don't even care. I'm sacking my bishop at this point. These pawns are too good and too far away from each other for it to matter. Yeah, I do, but I don't play them on the stream because that's, you know, copyright. I do song requests that I listen to. I don't play them on stream because I don't think it's ethical to use artist music without their permission. I do have music I do have permission for, but I just haven't set up the software for it yet because I'm purposely making everything harder for myself. I'll get that one in just a second. Yeah, I can see that. I can see why you would like this one, Void. Spotify only? No, I just do it on YouTube. I don't care. I really don't care. You can send me like a SoundCloud link and I'll listen to it. I could care less. Yep, that's how it feels, Penguin. Okay, so opening, you definitely did come out with a bit of an advantage. Knight takes was wrong. I want to see what was best here. Oh. Oh, this is super angsty. TX2 burn. It's very angsty. I appreciate it. Oh yeah, it was Caro-Kann and Italian. Caro-Kann and Italian. What should I have played here? Is this something... I'm not actually sure. Was it... Queen F7? No. Rook F7. Sheesh. Sheesh. That's cold-blooded. I like it. This is... Knight D5 was what I thought too. I didn't see anything better, but it's because Rook F7. Queen D8's also fine, but I felt like I was just losing this pawn. But Rook F7 was the move. You just cold-heartedly hold on to this pawn and say, okay, you're not doing anything. Enjoy enjoy your pieces that look better than they are. That's the Dutch for you. The moves just sometimes don't feel like they make sense. They do once you see them and once you really dig into it. Because, like, what's this knight doing here, you know? Like, what does this knight do? You're not going to take me. This knight doesn't have anywhere to go. It's not doing anything. And these pieces are still worse than they look. Even then, this is not the end of the world. I really did not expect you to take this. I thought you were going to play bishop c4 for sure. I was even considering pushing. I don't know if it's good, but this was definitely scary. Either way, I think taking kind of let me off easy. Ronnie. Like, I'm not saying it's bad, but it just made my position so much easier. No, I don't know if you were on stream when you played this, but I swear I went, oh, because after this, you know, I'm not worse anymore. I'm chilling. Or I'm not that much worse. So I think you let me off easy. I didn't deserve that. I deserve to suffer a lot more. Yeah. Maybe, but you did activate one of my pieces for me, and this is a good square for this knight. And so now I'm just slow playing, and yeah, you're right, knight h5 here, just one apiece. Knight a5, sorry. We take those, red. And here it's just completely even. Completely even. And e4 lost on the spot. Ooh. Bishop d6. I didn't even look at bishop d6. I just thought queen takes a6 immediately. What am I doing with this pawn? You take both of these and you get connected passers on the queen side here, and I die. You really, like, queen takes was like, ooh. Ooh. We're just g takes, and like I can't defend this. Either way, I'm in misery. I am just miserable in this position. Because this is super weak. Again, I would just take it immediately, because I'm not threatening anything. And you could just take this afterwards. And you have connected passers on the queen side, and I am dead as a doornail. Lost another winning endgame. I told you endgames are important. I always tell everybody when they come in here, endgames are important. I am very vocal about my feelings about endgames. And see now, in bishop endgames, the rule of thumb is it doesn't matter how many passers you have, it matters how good they are. And this passer is infinitely better than your potential passer. Infinitely better. And I don't think I need to tell you why, right? It's simply just easier to get across. And I didn't even play this particularly well. Evidently, I should have gone f takes first. I want to see this. F takes, f takes. And then bishop c3. Yeah, and then play into the king and pawn endgame. Yeah, I was a little bit lazy. I didn't calculate this. From start, good kid. See, this is good. I hear a bunch of stuff I never have heard before. Yeah, this is definitely a winning king and pawn endgame. Oh, this is a completely different vibe. This is chill. Now, evidently you hold here if you play bishop h8, which is psychotic. I was going to play bishop a5 here, bishop a3 here, and say, okay, I'm just going to walk my king over this way, and what are you going to do about it? Bishop f6. My plan was here. And I thought that I was fast enough. e7, bishop takes e7, bishop takes e7, and I thought I was winning this. Got it. I like his voice. There's a playlist of hero songs I like. I mean, I could. I could just start it on. I could just make a YouTube playlist. Okay, I'll make a new playlist right now. Okay, I made it. I'll just add songs to it. You'll have to remind me to add songs if I like them. Anyway, I felt like I could have won this, but evidently I'm just barely short. Yeah. King b2, and then I play g5, and we trade off all the pieces in the... Yeah. Yep. Yep. So this was a draw. You do need to study endgames. I'm telling you, Ronnie, you don't understand how big a difference it makes. Look at this position. I won a lost endgame. Think about it from my perspective, right? Think about it from my perspective. I got into a losing endgame against a 1900 and I won the game. I do that fairly regularly, not because I'm amazing at endgames, because no one else studies their endgames. Like, very little investment in the grand scheme of things will get you so far because you'll win losing games. It's insane. And it's also a confidence boost because you'll be like, oh, if I just survive another 10 moves, then I'm going to win. Even though you're in a losing position. It's sick. I did not see the Grammys because honestly, I don't really care anymore. Yeah, now it's losing. Because the pawns are too far apart. Evidently here you could have held again. You had to play this bishop move, which keeps my king out. Look at that lockout. Sheesh. So evidently, I don't even know what I need to play here. I had to play bishop d2 to prevent bishop c1. That's psychotic. Russians can teach me something? Yeah, or you can just buy a book. Danya Naroditsky has got some good videos. They're difficult to digest, but a lot of good endgame content there. Either way, interesting game. I definitely ended up with a slightly worse position out of the opening because rook f7 is very unnatural. Anyway, this is nice. I like this. Well, very relaxing. Bishop d2 is such a crazy move. I love it. It's super nice. Oh, so we're rolling a pair of dice. Yep. Wouldn't surprise me. But once you realize what that is, which it's like not a popularity contest. That's a little bit strong, but like not a super serious thing. like it doesn't mean a whole lot, then started a new speedrun yesterday too. Ooh, what speedrun? Let me check. Intuition. Is Shaw still here? I don't think so. We go next. Is Pigeon still here? I also don't think so. We go next. Is Void still here? No, I don't think Void's still here. Hasn't been talking in a while. Kashi, however you pronounce that. Yeah, exclaim join to join the queue, and so when your turn we could play. Me, also you, exclaim join to join the queue. I have to keep people in the line. Now, given not everyone in the queue is actually in the queue, a lot of people join the queue and then leave because they find out they have something to do, which is fine. It doesn't bother me. But hey, thanks so much for the follow, Che. I'm assuming it's Che. How can I do that? You type !join into the chat, and then the rest is handled by my magical proprietary chess related-ish Twitch bot, which does everything you want, and a bag of chips. No problem. Excellent girlfriend. Unfortunately, even I'm not powerful enough to do that. I cannot guide others to something I do not yet possess. Turnips, thanks so much for the follow. Subtronics, Insidious. I remember 2014 Grammy Awards, Best Rap Album, Macklemore, two popular song nominees, Kendrick, Kanye, and Jay-Z. Yeah. You see what I mean? It's not like... Sorry. I wish. I will figure it out one day. One day. I will get it there, Turnips, but today is not that day. Okay. Now let's see how our boy Void does. And even more unfortunately, I don't think it'll be done by Valentine's Day. We're all gonna be alone this year, fellas. Okay. Sure. Culture, like #1 equals North Macedonia? Ooh. So, #1 would have to be Macedonia because it's my home. But I don't know. I haven't engaged with the cultures of other Balkan countries super in depth to the degree where I know them super well. That's the problem. I've traveled some, I've been to a lot of them, but I don't know their culture super well. I only know stereotypes. D5, E5. Okay. Played for D5, good stuff. Knight F5 looks like an amazing move. Knight C6. Okay, does a Knight F5 work here? Yep, Knight F5's best. So, this knight is going to be terrible if he plays G4, but playing Knight F5, you can get ahead of him. That's why this is such a good move. It's because now G4, like, you don't care. Yep. I always ask before, and also I have like a list of people who are still in the stream. It's not a super up-to-date list, so sometimes it's wrong, but I do scan that before I say someone's not here. And even if I do skip them, if they come back, I play them anyway. So it's not that much of a high-pressure thing. You're not at risk. So Knight F5 I think is absolutely the move. Yeah. Macedonia has a large Albanian minority, which is largely Muslim, but it's like non-practicing Muslim. The other people. LL Cool J? I know LL Cool J is. Knight F5, G4. Yeah, so. But Knight C6 isn't terrible. Okay, Knight F5. Great. CX, wonderful. Oh, you had Queen H4. And now you have punished him for his sins. Do you think religious people should be fundamentalist? Well, I'm not, so no. I mean... Let me just make sure I have the right definition. Well, I mean, I believe that the Bible is completely true. But fundamentalism is like a weird word because there's a bunch of different definitions of it. After playing bishop e7. So I say this to kids in my club all the time. You think with your head, then you move with your hand. Do not think with your hand. The hand isn't very good at it. Castles. Okay. Bishop d3. I mean, I still like your position. You're still comfy. Letting him take on f5 is suspicious. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but after this, he can end up castling by hand. Like saying other religions are false? Well, I mean, I believe that other religions are false, but here's the issue, right? The problem is it's difficult because when you say that you think other religions are false, what's inherently taken out of that is you're trying to demonize the other people. I don't think that because other religions are false that everyone there is evil and a danger to society. Oh, you're right. That's some terrible mixing. Oh, yeah, that's a little cool. Anyway. Like, fundamentalism, I don't know if it's because of my Americanness, but fundamentalism to me brings to mind images of that sort of like satanic panic sort of stuff in the US, and it's hard for me to think of fundamentalism as a good thing with that context. Now, that's kind of a bias, but yeah. Queen b6, Queen g3, bishop b6. I mean, to be fair, this is still like I don't know who I'd rather play here. Yep. King g3, bishop e6. I love the way you're playing this. I know that's not best, but like King g3 being the best move is psychotic. I was trying to play this, but even this isn't the best thing in the world because this is such a problem. King g3 is psycho chess. But okay, Queen d5, Queen b6, good stuff. Development with tempo. Takes, Queen d2. Just Rook ab. Let's go. Kill him. Rook ac is good. That's fine. D file looks kind of better, but just made an account. Sick. Queen f8. King takes. Rather show the religion. Well, I mean, obviously, I don't think. So here's the thing. Because I think I'm right, and I think being right is important in the cosmic scale of things, I'm obviously going to try to convince other people that I'm right. Right? I don't see anything wrong with that. And I don't think there is anything wrong with that. Again, the issue is when you let it start taking away from humanity in general. You know? Even if they decline to listen to you? Well, if they decline to listen to me, that's their prerogative. I don't get to choose if they listen to me. I get to say something, but I don't get to choose if they listen to me. So you have Rook b8 because Queen f4 mate. No, I mean, in this position you have a queen for a rook. I really don't think it matters that much. I like trading off the pieces because I don't think he's going to fall for the checkmate. I don't think he's going to fall for the checkmate. I think he's going to play knight e2 anyway. In which case, there is no queen f4 mate. So I like rook c8 better. I mean, like... yeah. Who do you think won? Ooh, that one's a tough one. That one's not obvious who won. Here's why Muslims that the Bible is corrupted. Well, it's not an argument. It's not, how is, like, what is the argument there? If I remember from my Islam class correctly, it's more of just a statement, and their source is the Quran. Just like our source that the Quran is corrupted is the Bible. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure. I mean, we have pretty good records for the Bible. I haven't done enough research to be able to give super convincing arguments one way or another. But to my knowledge, we have pretty good records of the Bible going back pretty long time. I said that's why Prophet came to correct it? Well, yeah. I mean, I understand that. Like, again, I'm familiar with the basic tenets of Islam. But it's not an argument. It's a statement. So that's the thing. It's not like... Again, the source is the Quran. Just like our source of the Bible not being corrupted is kind of the Bible, right? Word up. It's word girl. Word up. I'm not like offended by this. I think I lean towards Elvis winning local. See, this is a pretty clean game. You could have killed him earlier. Okay, so I'm barely like 450. Cool. That means I can help more. Honestly, outside of missing Queen H4, I like the way you played this. And also, I would play Knight F5 before Knight F6, because Knight F5 is more urgent, because G4 is an imminent threat. Poor Penguin, he'll be fine. 30-man scale has 1387. So, hey, we take those. The people to me? Yes. Yeah, no, that one's difficult. I'm changing my mind on that one pretty much, pretty often as well. Yeah, should be. Yep, it's Anthony's turn. Otherwise, I really appreciate the way you played this, especially with the knight. It would have been easy to get scared and move the knight like here or here, but both would be just maybe worse moves. This is probably playable. This might not be terrible, but I like this plan more. Like, you're basically playing almost in a what's it called? An Alekhine sort of way, where you're like saying, okay, if you want to overcommit, knock yourself out. Is it possible of 0 elo? I don't think so. I think chess.com limits you at 100. Antians, would you mind making it unrated? Literally and metaphorically? Parts of it literally, parts of it metaphorically. Because I think a big part about it is understanding the historical context it was written in. Thank you. And so I think, like, a lot of Genesis, especially the creation narrative, is metaphorical. But some parts, especially a lot of the New Testament, including Jesus, are more literal. It would have to be, like, book by book, chapter by chapter, right? It's not clear one way or another. But there's a lot of poetry in the Bible, which would be a little weird to be taken literally. No, yeah. It makes sense. Well, it depends on denomination a lot, Penguin. That's kind of part of the point. There's not a huge common consensus. Big Bang happened? I see, exactly. Like, that's somewhat controversial. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that's not a big universal thing. You know what I mean? I argued with an Orthodox Christian? No. I don't think arguing with other people about religion is productive. So I try to avoid doing so whenever I can. Plus, most Orthodox Christians here do it more so as a tradition than a religion. And so oftentimes either they don't care or they're more curious than anything else. I rarely encountered any, like, anger. about argumentative skills? No, it doesn't. Not yelling, like, so, okay, here's the problem. Argument can mean two different things, right? Argument can either mean a sit-down, rational discussion with someone else, or it can mean a shouting match. And one of them is productive, the other one isn't. Like, what we're doing here, I would say is productive, in some sense, right? But just, like, yelling back and forth about who's interpreting the Bible the right way isn't productive. You can't argue about beliefs you can't change that easily? Yeah, kind of. I would say it's a little more complicated than that, but that general idea. That's what I mean. And so, like, I've discussed my faith with Orthodox Christians, but I would never say I've argued with them about it, because what am I trying to do? I'm trying to convince them that I'm right and they're wrong. If they want to know why I believe what I do, then they can ask, and I'm more than happy to talk about it, but I don't think it's productive to walk up and say, like, I think you're wrong, here's why, because people don't change their beliefs that way. Learn your bishops? Yeah, that's the stream. That's the Alchemy and Plot Priest experience turnips. Discussing religion. We were doing immigration earlier, while also blundering pieces. I know modern metaphorically. Literally. Noah's Ark was a technical Jews that was lead Jews out of there, and there was a massive flood and all that stuff. So Jesus was really the person the son of God or not? Well, I think he was the son of God. I don't see that a lot of those are fairly controversial read. Kendrick Lamar. I have mixed feelings about Kendrick Lamar. I recognize his amazing lyricism. You forgot the opening quest? I totally did. I absolutely did. Bless my heart. So which Bible story do you think is metaphorical? So like I said, the creation narrative I think is at least somewhat metaphorical. But otherwise, I'm not 100% sure. I haven't looked into it in a while, so I don't remember off the top of my head super duper well, which is a little bit anticlimactic. It's been a while since I actually looked into which ones were metaphorical and literal. I think most stories about Jesus are literal. Basically all of them. I'm trying to think of one that I would say is metaphorical, but I'm pretty sure like everything New Testament is literal. Literal in the way any story written in a honor shame society would be. So like, yeah. I think. It's been a while. I did some deeper historical Bible research a long time ago, like 2-3 years ago, but recently more of my thinking has been from a philosophical perspective. Here's 30 million. Agree with it? I think it is. Because I think that's what science points us towards. And I don't really think science and the Bible conflict. Specifically because I don't think the Bible is trying to say anything about science. That's not its purpose. And so I don't agree that that's something that should be read into the Bible, if that makes sense. Yeah, I understand that young Earth creationism is quite popular, but I don't believe in that. From a Christian perspective, I think that science has a very useful role because I think it helps us understand the universe, and in the same way you understand more about a painter from looking at their painting, you can understand more parts of God's character by looking at the universe deeply. Either the Bible. Evolution, I'm not sure about. But to me, I don't think it's, again, I'm not worried about evolution, because even if evolution is true, then, like, okay, big deal. It doesn't deny the existence of a God. So I'm not sure about evolution just because I haven't done the research as of yet, but it doesn't scare me because I don't. It's not something where if evolution were true, then it destroys my entire belief system, you know? I know a lot of Christians feel that way, but I personally don't. Yeah, that's what I mean, local. Which, it's difficult, you know? I understand why people get so upset about religion, because it's done a lot of terrible things. So, like, I get it from that perspective. You lost a knight? Yeah, but I'm up a bishop still. You think about the Kendrick song? I see, Kendrick's an amazing lyricist, but I don't love his beats or his general style and flows. I don't know why, it's just never appealed to me. I've listened to a few Kendrick songs, but it's just never been for me. Human Affairs, you just started the universe? So, I don't think they're mutually exclusive. How do I put this in a way that makes sense? How do I say? I'm not a deist. I don't think God is uninvolved in human affairs. Like, I don't like. Okay. Here's how I'm going to put this, which is going to sound stupid. I don't believe in luck, and so like when you throw a die, in some philosophical way, God kind of determines it. So, from that perspective, he's involved, but his involvement is via the scientific things we understand today. Like, he didn't set it up and watch it fly. He set it up knowing how it would fly off, or not fly off, but like how it would go, and that's kind of his involvement, if that makes sense. Because a God outside of like determinism, kind of like determinism, close to determinism. I would say it's similar in spirit to what I'm saying. I'm not sure if I believe in 100% determinism, if I go all the way there, but like that direction, you know? That's why I'm saying it's not like mutually exclusive. Knight c6. Yeah, it makes sense, red. So the thing is, it's like, yeah, it's difficult stuff, Penguin. I'm 21 and I feel like it'll take a lot more of my life before I'm sure about any of this stuff. So none of this is set in stone, per se. I'm still learning. Queen e1 loses a piece. So, I did have a slight mouse slip. What was the mouse slip, Antians, if you don't mind me asking? I'm kind of curious. Was it like Queen e3? Queen e3 looked weird. Yeah, Queen e3 was the mouse slip. Told you. I knew it. What, did you mean to play Bishop e3? Yeah. Queen e3 did look a little weird. It just blocks in your bishop, you know? But here you just run into the problem of knight g4. You have to remember about knight g4 in these positions. Do we have choice or expected to do things according to fate? No, I got what you're saying. Do we have free will, or is everything predetermined? I got what you're saying. See, that's when you get into deep philosophy. But in that example, Ronnie, isn't the person flipping the coin to shoot a hostage already something they're doing wrong? Like, isn't that their responsibility no matter which way the coin flips? Like, it's like they shouldn't be flipping a coin to begin with. You know? That's like saying, oh, if the president doesn't give me $2 million, I'm going to like kick a puppy, and then I don't get $2 million and I kick a puppy. Oh, it's the president's fault. It's kind of a weird, an incomplete argument, I would say. So here's the thing, Void. I'm not sure it's mutually exclusive. I don't know if necessarily. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if necessarily it has to be one way or another. Because is it true? You could say the man by determining the result. Maybe. But then that's the free will discussion. That's the free will part of it. Is there any free will if, you know, everyone gets saved? That makes sense. Yeah, free will is difficult. I think we have free will, but I don't think free will and some level of determinism are mutually exclusive. In so much as, like, saying, so what does it matter if someone knows the outcome to us having free will? Does that make us no longer have free will? I'm not sure. I can't think of a reason why it would need to be the case. Why does nobody need to know for me to have free will? Not human, but like supernatural, outside of nature. Again, now we're getting into the stuff that's less cooked, because it's stuff I'm still thinking through on the daily, you know? Never gonna beat Alco? That's not true. Every time we play, you're doing better than you did the previous time. Again, this time, you just, in this position, you had like a chance here where you could go for what we call desperado tactic. You leave your queen hanging, but now you're attacking my queen. If I take, then now you move the queen back if you'd like. And so now the knight's not at, now you've gotten out without losing a piece. And so if I take your queen, then you take my queen. If I take your rook, then knight d5 evidently. Knight takes h2, knight takes e7 check, king h8, knight takes c8, and you kind of like hold on by the skin of your teeth. Knight takes a7, or knight takes d6, rook takes d6, king takes h2. And we end up with this, where you have a pawn for the exchange, which isn't great, but like, it's better than losing a piece. Which I did not calculate that deep. I calculated till this. I didn't calculate this move. I calculated till this, and I was like, this looks better for me. I think I'm better here. And this was as deep as my calculation went. Which is probably dumb, but... New membership worth it, by the way? If you use the videos and analysis frequently, I would say it could be. The videos are really like the underrated thing that you get from the memberships that aren't talked about a lot. There's a lot of good information there and a lot of good like opening stuff, endgame stuff. But, and then the puzzles, I would say, are also a big part of it. Just happy I got a fork. You did. The puzzles are also a big part of it because I like the chess.com puzzles better than I like the Elite Chess ones. And so, if you use those two things regularly, I would say yes. What I would recommend is, Can I recommend this on my stream? Probably. It's not a website. Okay, give me a second. It's a little bit jank because it's still in development, but there's this really cool chess GUI that I've been liking recently. It's a little jank, but it's getting better quite quickly. Yep. So it's worth it if you use it a lot, pretty much. So after this, you're just kind of down a piece. Now, I appreciate how how aggressively you were playing this, because it really made it so I have to think, and so the position's relatively difficult for me. Because even here, it's like not obvious how much I'm winning, or if I'm winning, you know? I end up in this piece up, but... Now the problem is you played rook takes b7 here, and you ended up in a position where you're obviously very clearly losing. I'm not sure what you even are playing in this position, but it's definitely not that. Maybe you try and get a passer, but you don't even get a passer here. Maybe before this you play like c3, prevent this from happening. So we use it for analyzing games. It's used for analyzing games. It also allows you to download every game you play on chess.com and search through them as a database locally. And also has local analysis, and it makes it easier to use stuff like Stockfish, which is normally a little bit of a pain to get working. Turn my brain off? Yeah. Rook b7 was kind of local. That's me. It is you. That's why I said I don't think it's bad, because I don't think it's competing with chess.com. If chess.com thought it was competing, they wouldn't have their API open to download games, which I think they should keep it open. I think that's a smart business decision on their part. You burn? It was a little angsty for my taste. It's been a while since I've listened to punk. It's not punk. What is it? Anyway, but I did enjoy it. I think you've had me listen to this one before. It's shown as listened to before on my YouTube. What does API mean? I think it's like application interface. It's where you can send a request to chess.com website and it'll send back the games, pretty much. For anyone. Yeah, I don't like Elite Chess pre-moves either. I think chess.com came up has the winning approach there. It just means you can, like, applications can freely grab chess.com games. Don't pre-move save elo? No. I'll go do the Bomb Cloud. Well, first I have to do the Italian or Carol Khan. It's someone's turn. Is someone here? I don't think someone's here. I'm going next. Yep, opening cross. Thank you for reminding me. It's Pingwing's turn. Okay, Pingwing. What if Jesus were to play chess? What do you want every time because he already knows the future? Knowing the future is a bit of an extreme way of putting it, but... I mean... I don't... it's a weird question. It's like asking how good of a carpenter was Jesus. You know? Stockfish versus Jesus? Penguin is my favorite animal? That's a good choice. I'm not sure. I have to think about it. I would say probably. I don't know. Oh, isn't that for the something vultures? Is it just vultures? I know there's vultures in the name somewhere. The name might just be vultures. Hey, you're going to be next. It's just Pingwing's turn. Oh, lock me up. Lock meme up. Oh, that's even better. I just saw lock me up, but it's meme. Penguin's here, right? It shows him as here. Kanye is known for announcing albums and then delaying the release date for years. Yeah. Yep. That's the Kanye official. That's the Kanye. Lock meme up. Thanks so much for the follow. How are you holding up? Good, how about you? I'm doing okay. I've been dumping Elo over the past few weeks, but we're surviving somehow. What y'all doing? Discussing religion. Discussing religion and playing with viewers. Listen, I think I'm playing with viewers. Okay, we'll just go to Cupheady because Pingwing is not responsive. 2069 Chris. Bro, I used to be 2200. I was 2200 and I've been dying. I'll tell you why. I stopped drinking coffee before my streams. Caffeine literally gives me 300 elo. This is any good, like down on Narodisky's level? I've liked a lot of the videos. I haven't been keeping up with them as much as I should, but when I have used them, I've liked them quite a bit. There's a lot of interesting stuff there. Also, I do have a affiliate link, so if y'all ever decide to do anything, I do have an affiliate link. Where is my affiliate link on my channel? Do you solve daily puzzle? I used to. I don't anymore. I've gotten real busy. Experience use of Chessable? No, I do not. I just got one of the free courses and I used it, and I didn't like it, but that's just because I didn't like the course. I think it's good for opening theory, but I wouldn't trust it for anything else. Even for opening theory, I think it ends up teaching moves more than ideas, and I don't love that. But maybe that's just my experience. Maybe I just got bad courses. That's the thing. It's a platform, not a course, so. What's your chess.com name, Cuppy? Or Cupheady, sorry. Daily puzzle I've seen the most, honestly? I could see that. As well, wow, it can solve within 5 minutes. Okay, give me a second. Now I want to try it. I'll look at this real quick. I don't know if y'all can see that. It might have broken my overlay. Oh wow. Hold on a second. I see it. Good. Set a 5-minute timer. Sure. Okay, I got a 5-minute timer going, but y'all can't see it, but I can. H-file is cut. You don't need the H-file. There's a pawn on H4, otherwise the H-file is completely irrelevant. So I'm looking at Rook C1 first because I'm seeing that the king can't escape, and so I'm really thinking it's going to be some goofy form of ladder checkmate. Rook C1 looks most obvious. Bishop block is non-productive, so he'd have to move the king to one of these 3 squares, right? The issue is if he moves it to B5 and I go for a ladder, he can play queen B4, right? However, so going here, he just gets laddered and he dies. Rest in potatoes. So he can't go to this square. This square, he also just gets laddered. Yeah, he just gets laddered. So he must go to B5. So Rook C1, King B5. I'm thinking Queen C4 afterwards. That's my intuitive guess. Queen C4, but that forces him to either B6 or A5. A5, he just gets mated. Well, A5 will calculate later. B6, I think I can just play queen back to B3, and he no longer can block with queen. And because my rook's on C1, it forces him to the final rank where he gets just mated on the back rank. Although to be fair, King B6, King A7. He could block with check. He could block the check with queen, but then I play rook takes queen and I'm winning anyway because I can just, at the very worst, like win his rook. So that doesn't matter. That's completely irrelevant. So, in that case, you just need to calculate A5. Hey, what's up, Ree? In that case, we just need to go to A5. And so if A5, I think I just play rook A1 anyway. And then here I have just rook A6. And then it's, the queen goes back, rook here. And now the question for me is just, do I take the queen immediately or do I go for something else? I think I just take the queen. Yeah. So what was that? 3 minutes? 3.5? I think I could have done it a little faster, but... It's queen and pawn against 2 pawns and bishop. Yeah. Very cleanly winning. Because he loses the rook immediately. Right? He must lose the rook. I don't... Like, you go check here, and then... he's got to be losing the rook. And after he loses the rook, all of his pawns are in dark squares. The pawn's going to fall dead. You know, Saturday puzzle? What does that mean? So, if you can't win this endgame, then, like, kind of the puzzle's irrelevant, but it should, like, it's not going to be that difficult. I don't imagine. I don't know, I'm thinking about it. After takes, you can just go here, right? Oh, no, he has this. Harder as the week progresses? Oh. Oh, this one wasn't that hard. You just have to work backwards. Like, this looks like a ladder checkmate. That's what the pieces we have on the board. The king can't escape via d5, so it looks like a ladder checkmate. So you just have to figure out how to get the ladder to work. Again, the objective was pretty simple. Just force a ladder checkmate somehow. And the king only has 3 options. This one and this one both obviously checkmate, so he has to go this one. And then queen c4 is like the only other check in the position, so... Queen b4 and it's easy. Queen c4? Yeah, queen c4 is not that hard to see, I don't think. I guess the subtlety is that queen c4 to b3 is kind of weird, but that's not that difficult. I would say just because if you're looking at what moves you have, queen c4 immediately suggests itself as an option. And so I didn't see that this was good until after I saw queen c4 and was figuring out if it did anything, you know? Queen b4 for black? Ah, well, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, you have to see the option of queen b4. Anti-angst? I'm not anti-angst. I do like some angst from time to time. My favorite album of all time is Untrue, and that's like a little angsty. My second favorite album is Ants From Up There, which is also a little angsty. It's not as angsty as that, but it's just a little angsty. I think Cup just left. How angsty is Mad Villainy? Mad Villainy is more apathetic than angsty. Hey, it's Turnips' turn. Is Turnip still here? He was just here a second ago. Mad Villainy is more apathy than angst, I would say. Although apathy is kind of a part of angst. I think Turnips is left. In which case, it's... Okay, how do I pronounce your name? How do I pronounce your name? Help me as a hideous American, however you want. Oh, come on. I'm talking, how do I correctly pronounce your name? Is it like Fukukashi or something? Fukukashi. I was right. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, what's your chess.com name? Oh, it doesn't want to sound like you causing him out? Yeah, that was absolutely the reason. Check courtesy of the red, white, and blue. Oh, no, I did not. I completely forgot. Here we go. Okay, let me just send you a challenge. Sudoku Fishu. That sounds like Google translating stockfish into something else. Challenge sent. I'm nervous? Don't be. There's no pressure. We play unrated. Favorite collective game to play? You mean like tabletop or video game? Can you resend it, please? Absolutely. It depends how mad, because that was kind of a ridiculous thing. Ray, that's kind of insane. Bless her heart. Yeah, Void, do you mean tabletop game or do you mean video game? Really, you like Deep Rock that much, Ray? I mean, good choice. But... Physical. Ooh. So I like Farkle a lot. I also really like Mao. Settlers of Catan I also really like, but I don't think I like it as much as Farkle and Mao. I'm missing one. Which one am I missing? I'm missing one. Bless her heart, Ray. I'm definitely missing one. It'll come to me later, but maybe I'm thinking something like Mafia. I also really like Mafia. Knight F5. How's Knight get that 5? E5. Oh. 95's possible. It depends how he took. Huh. Do I want to play Knight B3? It feels a little passive, but I don't see another way to defend this pawn. I don't really... Do I have to defend the pawn? Can I just play Queen A4? Queen A4 might be good. I hate this position. This is such a weird position. I am of mixed feelings. Part of me wants to play Queen A4, another part wants to go Knight B3 and just stack up on the C file. Hey, pandas. If Queen A4 is good, it's the best move. Yeah, I would probably say Mao. If I had to pick one game, which sounds like that's the situation I'm in, I would pick Mao. I love Mao. Knight B3 feels only okay though. That's why I didn't play it. I don't like playing okay moves. Dvorsky's Manual. I'm gonna become an old wise Russian GM. Good luck with that one. Goodness gracious. Harder to find denser literature on planet Earth. Phew. I could have played the queen to c2. That might have been better, allowing the knight to c4. It might have been a mistake. Page 56. When does the transformation happen? On page 356. 3056. I gave it the GM pipe dream years ago. I haven't given it up yet. How language we speak? Where are you on the scale? Pretty infrequently. I have difficulty listening to songs in languages I don't understand unless I already know the lyrics or it's like very obvious what they mean. It would have to be a song that I would listen to if it didn't have lyrics, if that makes sense. I tried and I can't really like get into it if I can't understand the lyrics. Yeah, like I couldn't get into De Todas las Flores. That's a perfect example. I couldn't get into it. I thought it was Rook A-C1. I'm thinking Rook A-C1. That's where I'm leading. That move looks suspicious. Maybe it's possible, but it looks suspicious. I'll listen to that in a second. Yeah. Hmm. 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 I'm listening to Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue, Ronnie, and I'm... Hmm. 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 I'm having some difficulty. Yep. But I did... This does give him a pawn, because he can play bishop here and after rook here take. So it's a little bit... This is a little bit risky, but... And maybe even, like, takes first? No, he can't. So he has to go here, here. See you, local. See you, local. Yeah, I'm having some difficulty. Ooh. Queen d4, knight c4. Yeah. Other knight? Oh, this one? Maybe he can sack a piece here. I'm just now considering the piece sack. Ooh, he went for it. That's risky. I like it. It's bold, but it's... Yeah, no, I don't like the red and white blue. Now I'll listen to... Oh, Clair de Lune is so much more relaxing. But he doesn't. See, that's why I'm okay going into this. That's why I'm comfortable. Or not comfortable. I'm a little uncomfortable, but... I think it's only natural in these sorts of high-risk positions to be a little uncomfortable. Yeah. Yeah. But I am up a piece. And I feel like he will have difficulty defending that pawn in the long term. Yeah, like here. Now he's got this one pawn. It's not even a pawn for the piece. It's just a better pawn for the piece. That's tough to sell, man. That's a tough sell. Maybe he can get away with it, but I don't trust this at all. I do not trust this in the slightest. Let's trade bishops, friend. Let's get some pieces off the board. Perfect. My bishop was useful, but you know what's more useful? This knight. Oh, what a knight. Late December back in 63. What a very special time for me. As I remember, what a night. Works for me. See what I mean? You might blunder back rank? No, he played h6. Yeah, he played h6. I wouldn't have minded, but seemed mighty unlikely. I'll trade off a pair of rooks. And now I'll defend that pawn. I'm up a knight and a pawn. I can play this as slowly as I like, which is what I intend to do. I intend to take it slow and relaxed. It doesn't help that Clair de Lune's playing. Very relaxing song. King E2 and Black Resign. Just everything in Black Resigns. The entire everything. Everything in Black Resigns. Okay, I freed up my rook. Mission accomplished. I'm just taking it one step at a time. One move at a time. There's no reason to rush. Again, these positions just play themselves. Because all I need is a knight and a pawn. I can trade rooks. Where's my turn? You can be now if you'd like, Shaws. You weren't here for it originally. Yeah. Everyone has some quotes that, if taken out of context, sound a little bit sussy. One could even call them sus among us. I'm not sure I would go as far as to call them sus among us, but you could. In theory, you know. Now this knight will come here, and I'll take this pawn. And I can even take it, even if he protects with rook, because then I go into a 2 pawns up, king and pawn endgame. I can win that. That works too. Now in comes the king. I am a mustard red. No, that one's just truth. Phasmophobia? I've heard good things. Why? But if you're going to play a multiplayer horror game, why not play like Lethal Company? That seems to be more in vogue currently. Or do you not own Lethal Company? You own Phasmophobia? That would make sense. I'm dumb. I don't own it either, so I have no skin in it. I have no horse in this race. Let's get play some FPS chess. I've heard good things about FPS chess too. Never played it, but all too well. I'll look at that after this game. Where does this knight want to be? It wants to be here. No, not here. Where does it want to be? Tell me. Where do you want to go? Let's say this. About chess at all? I know. But I've heard good things anyway. Now we're talking. I don't even need this knight. Yeah. We're chilling. GG's, GG's. You played real well. You shouldn't have been nervous. You did a very good job. You did a fine job. That was not an easy position. Those Catalan positions, man, they get everybody. Let's see. Let's see what actually happened. Let's see a Stockfish completely obliterate both of us. Okay, yep. So the opening was solid. Completely good and rational play. So here's the first problem in my mind. Knight takes. Knight takes allows e4. Just play pawn takes. This is a little bit of a weakness, and it's a little annoying to deal with, but there's no real avoiding it. That's kind of... So in the Catalan, the white's point is that this bishop is very difficult to develop. And so black has a few ways of trying to develop this bishop, but every way black tries to develop this bishop comes with a weakness. So b6 is one of the best ways. This plan is one of the best ways of trying to develop the light squared bishop. It's one of the most challenging main lines. Now, the downside of this move is after I take and you play e takes, this pawn is a little bit annoying long term. It's not guaranteed to fall. It's not the end of the world, but it's a little annoying. And but you just have to accept it in these positions. Because if you take with knight, then it's worse because I get e4 and queen a4, and your position gets very difficult to play very quickly. Right, which is what happened. And queen takes, that's just a terrible spot for the queen because I'm going to castle, and this is going to be a huge problem, like 2 moves down the road. Knight e5, and you just lose the game on the spot. So takes the queen, loses immediately. So that's the upside of this is your bishop gets out a lot more naturally than it does in most other lines of the Catalan. The downside is you end up with this weakness on d5. But okay. And the way you played it, after takes, you went knight takes. And the issue is now I get e4 eventually. Evidently I wasn't supposed to play it immediately, but I get rook c1 and e4, and now this is a problem, and I've got a very strong center. And then queen a4, knight b1, that's psycho chess. Yeah, I should have seen that. Yeah, it's not, I told you, these are very difficult positions to play. These are some of the most complicated lines in chess. That's why I love them so much. I love playing positions that I have no idea what I'm doing in. Queen a4. I said knight b3. I said knight b3 too. Knight b3 looked fine. I like queen a4 though. I think I was right. Knight b1 being the best makes perfect sense. Knight b1, you go to c3. You just improve the knight. Very rational chess. I just didn't... Knight moves backwards are the hardest moves to find. I think Karpov said that. But, so I was looking for something more active. And I played queen a4. Queen a4 might be the best move. I like queen a4 a lot, actually. It's very in the spirit of the position. Bishop d7 was fine. I know the computer didn't like it, but liked it not because like a third of a pawn. Queen c4, queen a3 made more sense. Yeah, queen c4 was a bit aggressive. a6. I'm not... Okay, so why did you play a6 before you play knight a5? Oh, you wanted to play bishop b5. Never mind, I know the answer to that. Never mind, answer my own question. You wanted to play bishop b5 afterwards. Yeah, it's a little greedy. That's a little greedy, assuming that I'm going to fall for that. Not end of the world, but... And so I played a3, which is a mistake, but... Come on. Come on. I know I've been dropping elo recently. I know I'm not at peak, but I'm going to see the skewer. Bishop c6 was the downfall. We'll see. We'll see. a6 was not very good. I play rook fd1, and my pieces are just simply better than yours. If we look at all my pieces and all your pieces, my pieces are just better. Knight a5, and you don't even have this anymore, so I can play my queen wherever I want. Probably c2. I like queen on c2. Again, your moves should not just go for a tactic. They should also go for something else. So like knight a5 makes sense. And then maybe if I play queen e2, now you might be able to think about playing a6. But even then, it's still a little suspicious. But now you play c5. Yeah, I know, this is what you should have done. You play knight a5, c5, and you celebrate. Because the reason this position is bad for you is because, one, your pieces are a little backwards. Just a smidge. It's not the end of the world. You should not lose the game because of that, but your pieces are just a little bit more backwards than they should be. But the real issue is this pawn on c7. I have this semi-open file, and this pawn is backwards. If you manage to play c5, you've equalized. Now, again, that's fairly difficult to do, but it's what you're looking to do a lot of the time. So in this position, knight a5, and if I play a little too aggressively, you might be able to play an immediate c5, is probably the plan. Because that removes your primary weakness. You have to be super careful with this diagonal, though. But you calculate it out, right? a6 is just a little slow, and it doesn't contribute a whole lot to the position. It's a little bit try for a tactic, you know? So I played a3 because I didn't want to allow any goofy knight stuff, and after knight here, I was going to play b4. Because see what I'm doing, I did this incorrectly. I might have been able to play b4 immediately, which might have been better. I was just afraid of a5. But, The reason I was going for a3 is because I want b4 to prevent c5. Because I'm thinking about the c5 push. About rook development. Rook development, it's the d file. One goes to the d file, the other goes to the c file. The d file is more urgent because this knight gets out of the way and it's opposite the queens. So you're protecting a potential weakness, and you're also getting off of this diagonal with the rook, which is good because bishop comes to b5 in a lot of lines. So rook fd is more urgent, but rook ac is also very good. So in this position, both of these moves make a lot of sense. But this is probably best. Because it's the rook you should be moving first because of the bishop. This rook should be moving first to the square that it most likely wants to be on. I skipped in queue. Yes, you were. So I'll play. I have a game from Shaw's to analyze before you, and then I'll play you someone, if that's okay. But okay. Queen c2. Bishop c6. Bishop c6 wasn't amazing, but it's not terrible, honestly. B4. Bishop knight b7. And see, this is what I mean. So now in this position, I'm sure you felt worse. I am sure you felt bad in this position. Because now, this bishop's weak and this pawn behind it's weak because you can't play c5. You've failed to get your primary break, and now you're suffering for it. You know? And I think it's because you didn't realize. If you want my... maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think you were planning c5. I'm pretty sure you weren't, in fact. Rook c8 would definitely help. Yeah. And c5 makes sense once you realize that this is your primary weakness in the position. Now that's not immediately obvious. You have to have a little bit of positional sense and a little bit of knowledge of these positions. But c7 is your big weakness. And so c5 is the way you get rid of that weakness. So you just have to play it. But now, if we look at the position a few moves down, well, yeah, but that's why I'm explaining it, right? And again, you really didn't do poorly at all. I hope you realize that. Knight b7. And again, now the biggest problem, the reason it's +1.5 is because you don't have a good way of getting rid of c7. And so now you're just going to suffer because you have this very clear weakness, and I don't really have a clear weakness. My position isn't dominant. I don't have anything crazy amazing, but I don't have an obvious weakness. You should be playing for a5, of course. But like, I go a4 here, which is the move I play if I'm smart. After a5, you go b5. I don't have a clear weakness. You know? And so you're suffering. Even though the computer says it's slightly worse for you, I would say it feels much worse because it's hard to find a plan. Rook ac. Rook ac was not amazing. I should have played the other rook to c. a5. And then I went knight e5, which evidently was terrible. I should have played d5. I almost played d5. And then knight d4. Ah. And the point is, I temporarily give you this pawn, but in return, I keep this bishop open. Which, if you look at this diagonal is so juicy. You've got this weak pawn, this weak piece, and a rook. Everything's on this diagonal. So giving you a pawn temporarily is absolutely worth just how amazingly tender this diagonal is. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Incredibly tender. And now my knight is guarding b5 as well. So that's the point, is I open my bishop and allow my knight to guard b5, so you can't play bishop b5. Sheesh. Yeah, that's savage. And see, this is why Stockfish is so good at chess. Stockfish saw exactly what your weakness was, because now you've created a new weakness with this knight being here. This diagonal is also a little weak, and it immediately took advantage of it. It's like, okay, no, you're not doing anything. No time. Nothing. You are dead. Good night. You will immediately lose c7. And this diagonal will still be weak, and I will still have the best knight in the position. Savage. Okay. But I didn't play that. I played knight e5, since I'm not Stockfish. I was thinking in the right direction, but I lacked the positional and tactical nuance to realize that d5 first was as good as it was. Knight e5. And I was just willing to sack this, because I didn't think that worked. Bishop e5. Rook fd. axb. This is really good. This is a very good chance. I don't know if it works for you, but it is a really good try, because like this is... Now I have to play chess. It's ridiculous. It's unfair. Now c6, and like, you actually have a position. Again, I slipped up, and let you have a bit more counterplay than you deserved. And you did a very good job of trying to capitalize off it. This was good awareness. I like it. Now, queen takes c7 evidently was the mistake, and that makes perfect sense to me. Because this rook on c7 is monstrous. You can't let me have that rook on c7. I don't know if you've heard of hogs on the 7th before, which is when you have two rooks on the 7th rank and you just eat everything. Like pigs. But rooks on the 7th rank are glorious. And you have two hanging pieces on the 7th rank. So it's the juiciest thing in the universe. And taking me is just immediately terrible because you lose a piece concretely. It's a very good game. You don't have to take, though. Like, knight c6 is a little bit psycho because you're just giving me this. But knight d6, I think, is a little bit more human looking. And I think it's better. Because I can't really take either one of your knights currently. And you don't give me that free rook on the 7th rank. I mean, if I take and then you play rook f and then you go rook c8. Okay, now you play knight g6. It's like, I mean, it's not the end of the world. Knight c6 giving me the knight evidently is good. I can't tell you why. Evidently this is why, because you get your piece back after this. And so you just end up with a very strong queen on d2. Well, I did not see this. I would not have seen this. So I would have just played knight d6 most likely. But queen takes, the rook on the 7th is death. And I like the idea of trying to sack a piece and say that you hold in the endgame. The opponent also blocks the white bishop. Yeah, no, that's a really clever series of moves, but I completely missed it. And now I like trying to sack the piece for the advantage there, but day late and a dollar short. Yeah, you just don't have any way of holding on to the pawn, and so I just play the position painfully slow, knowing that there's nothing I could do to lose if I don't play something crazy silly. I have no idea. So I'd say it was a good game. We both made mistakes. You just, I think, underestimated how strong the 7th rank was. Okay, now it's Shaw's turn. And I'm assuming it's pronounced Shaw's. Because it looks to me like Gauze, right? Got to grind. Gotta be on your Sigma Male grind set. US skills up. Oh, for sure. But I mean, that was a much stronger game than 638. That is like... I mean, obviously you joined an hour ago, but that was much stronger a game than 638. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, 1400 makes sense. It felt stronger than 1400 even, but that was not a 600 elo game of chess. I've played 600 elo games of chess a lot. That is not a 600 elo game of chess. Is this one we're looking at, Shaw's? Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with Void. Again, Shaw's. Just tell me if your name is not pronounced Shaw's. It's spelled like gauze, but with an SH instead of a G. And so I immediately think Shaw's. But that could be totally wrong. Also, are you white or black in this position? I'm guessing black. Rating 1500? I could see that. Yeah, okay. Thank you. C4, D5, sure. I got a little nervous. Played a game than usual for me. Yeah, no, that was a good game of chess. I told you. Knight C3, E6, okay. C5, up, you're gonna win this game. Let's go. Easy dubs. Game's over. Shake his hand. Goodbye, we're done here. Whenever white plays c5 in these positions, I always think of it as a win for black, because this demonstrates a misunderstanding of how to play the position. This demonstrates a complete misunderstanding of how to play the position. And so from here on out, if black understands the position, he's got such a big advantage. Not from a positional perspective, but from a chess knowledge perspective. I don't give him this. He's going to do this, and then he's going to take. And then you're going to have to deal with these doubled pawns, and you're not going to be able to punish this pawn. You're going to have an entombed bishop. No. The knight can go to d7 if you want. Or heck, play b6. Immediately go for it. What's he going to do? If he takes, then guess what? You take what? A. You got an open file for your rook, and you're going to play c5. This knight comes to d7. This bishop goes out this way. You play c5. Easy game. Very easy game plan for black. Very, very easy game plan. And black has the advantage already. Clean. That's what I mean. This is psycho chess. White can't play like this. Play against 2000 ELO plus because it's like you lost before you even know it and you just can't see what they see. That's how I feel about playing against like IMs and grandmasters and junk. It's crazy, man. It's so annoying. I love it. Again, I like b6 here. Just play b6. Punish him immediately. This should not exist. This is incorrect. Fundamentally incorrect chess. But okay. Knight c6 I hate. Yeah, bishop b5. You justified his entire idea. See, this is absolutely my style of chess talking, but one of the fundamental goals of a game of chess is to make your opponent look as stupid as possible. You want to make it look like every one of his plans and his ideas are completely wrong, and like not even like no rational person would ever think that way. You know? Like, what on earth are you thinking? That doesn't even make any sense. Ah, say no more, Shahs. That, never mind. Well, that's a terrible move in that case. Right? You've done the opposite here. You've made your opponent look like a genius. You're like, oh, you made c5 look like a grandmaster level prep. Because now after bishop b5, he gets a completely comfortable position. He takes this, you take here, you have the worst bishop of all time. Which is what happened. And now congratulations. He's playing the knight pair versus the bishop pair with this dominant knight and this poo-poo bishop. Again, you've made him look like a genius. He's not a genius, but he looks like one now. 94. I could accept. Oh, that was a mouse slip. I don't think bro knows how to castle. There is no universe where he wasn't trying to castle here. Come on. Come on, guys. Which he shouldn't have tried to castle anyway. That was also a bad move, but like less of a bad move. You should have just taken your pawn. Like, come on. That's a free pawn. What the? Rook f1. That's such a sad move. That's such a depressing move. Knight takes. Oh, queen d2. Oh. Oh, come on. The knight was so nice on e4. Put it back. Okay, your opponent's doing something. I have no idea what he's cooking, but it is rancid. Like cooking vitamins or something. Feet. I don't know, man. Yeah, just murder him. Oh, come on. Why are we grubbing for pawns? Look at this queen and king. Look at these pieces. Look at this bishop. Look at these rooks. Why are we taking a pawn? He does not deserve... He doesn't deserve to have a pawn captured. He deserves death. Kill him. Kaisa demands blood. Kaisa demands blood. Your opponent up and murdered somebody and you're giving him like a $20 fine with this move. Execute the sinner. Exactly. Sacrifice him. Yeah, you're giving a $20 fine for murdering somebody. This is not right. This is unjust. That's what this move is. This move is unjust. Kill him. Okay. You were just a second ago, Penguin. I'm gonna play someone called Someone before you, and then after that I can play you. That's okay. So you can be the person after next if you're willing to wait. Hold on a little bit. Rook FD8. Yes. No problem, Penguin. Yes. Yes. We'll take it. I don't care. Good stuff. Do not blunder back ring. Checkmate. I like his opponent doing this. Very funny move. Just don't blunder back ring. Good stuff. Good stuff. I like h6. Give him the pawn. We don't care. Just don't get back ringed. Back ringed. Good stuff. Good stuff. Very good. Very nice. You love to see it. Good game. Good game. Just this move is unjust. I hate this move with all my heart. Okay, so the two moves I hated in this game were this one. I hate this move. And this one. I hate this move. Even if you're not going to play b6, just play bishop b7. Just castle. And say, what the heck is this? Knight c6 I hate, and queen takes b4, b5 I hate. Those are the two moves I hate. Otherwise, lovely game of chess. You just played a way better game of chess than your opponent did. You really did. But this c5 stuff is incorrect 90% of the time. The only time it's correct is there are some lines in the Slav where white can play queen b3 early, you play like queen b6, and then he plays c5 and forces you to play queen takes to play for like weird b-pawn advances. That's like the only time the c5 stuff is good. In this position, it's not good. It's just not good. It's overextended. This is a weakness. But okay. I digress. You have a very good game of chess. Okay, it's someone's turn. Is someone 7835 here? We demand chess justice. In this house, chess justice. Justice. That sounds like a slur. That makes me uncomfortable. I don't know why I don't like it. Okay, I think someone's not here again. Oh yeah, it is someone. Someone is here. Yeah, it's your turn, someone. Yep. Your turn. Man. Kaisa is very simple. She makes her demands very clear. Opening request, don't forget. I've forgotten every time up until this point. I am such a legend. Sent? Perfect. Okay, so what am I playing? I'm playing I'm playing Caro Kann, right? Since I'm black. What am I playing if he plays d4? Okay, I'll play something goofy if he plays d4. Who made the request? I don't remember. Okay. I think it was Antians. Caro Italian? Yeah. I do not know my Caro. Okay, let's give it a try. It's something goofy like this, right? It's like knight d7 here or something. I know c5 is a move. c5 is a move eventually. It's just timing c5. That's like one of the critical things of the Caros. Playing c5 at the right time. If you play it at the wrong time, you end up getting in a real bad position real quick. Gotta go 97 now. That's kind of the trick. Is knowing when to play c5. Then like queen b6 is a move in a lot of these positions. h5. h5 I don't think is in the spirit of the position. I'm playing on the queen side more. And I don't mind if he takes my light squared bishop. It's not a very good piece. Speaking of not a very good piece, I'll just do this and castle. I don't have a terrible position for sure. I can leave the tension because neither one of us really want to take the other one here. If he takes me, he's just helping me develop my bishop and knight. And if I take him, then I solidify his pawn structure a little bit and make it a little bit harder to attack. So neither one of us really wants to take yet. We're kind of waiting for the other person to commit. It's like a weird game of chicken. I'm going to play rook AC. That might be the wrong rook, but we'll see. Now we go bishop g6, because we don't exactly want to let it take on f5. Don't have f6 is possible. f6 is sometimes possible. But you have to be careful. He's got some stuff stacked on the e-file, so... h6. It's possible, but just like everything else in the Caro, it's all about timing. The Caro is an opening of delicate timing. I think I'm going to take him next move. Don't the Caro, so I don't know. No, f6 is an idea in the Caro. Because the point is you're trying... It's like the French. The way to think about the Caro is it's like the French, but instead of a positional disadvantage, you have a development disadvantage. Because in the French, this bishop is here, and it's the worst piece of all time. In the Caro, you waste a tempo. Which one would you rather deal with? A wasted tempo or the worst bishop of all time? Right? And that's just your decision. That's the difference between the two. Is which would you rather deal with? Pick your poison. Better, more or less. I mean, he just picked to lose an exchange, which I don't mind. It's a pretty good poison to me. Oopsie whoopsie poopsie. Mm-hmm. Nice. In comes the pony. Knight b4, knights too strong. Oh, I know. I know. I am very happy. Well, I should play the Caro-Kann more often. This is easy. Easy opening. If I got positions like this every time I play the Caro-Kann, hold on a second. Why have to stop playing the Sicilian? G bishop is good. Everything's good. My position is just good. I've just got a good position. I've just got a very comfortable position with a lot of very comfortable advantages. It's just a good position. I am happy with the way things are working. Which is not something I expected to be saying in a Caro-Kann. So here's kind of the secret, Cap. My little brother plays the Caro-Kann. I don't know much about the Caro-Kann, but I know a little because I've had to teach him and coach him. And I played a lot with him and analyzed a lot of his games with him. So while it's not my best opening and I don't know a lot about it, I have a little bit of a grasp. I know it better than I know like the French, for example, or even like the Perk. Right? Even though I'm bad at it, I would still say it's like my second best opening with black against e4. Just because I like have a base grasp on the ideas. No care if I'm playing against it. Yeah, that's basically where I am. Playing against it, and I've done a little study to help my little brother, but it's not my opening, I wouldn't say, but you know, I know it by osmosis. Because I've had to look at the positions a lot. And so why I don't like the Caro, because it's a little bit dry for my tastes. I'm never upset when I have to play it, you know? I'm just like, okay, this is what we're doing now. And then I do it, and then it's fine. You play 193 faces often? Mm-hmm. I normally play it as a Slav, which is similar in ideas. It's just a little different in character. Because there's not the pawn on e5, so the character of the opening is quite different. Feels really different. Because this pawn doesn't end up being as weak. It's a little more solid for white, a little less... there's a little bit less of a chance of overextension. Honestly, I want to play this anyway and just take the bishop. I know it's not a very good bishop, but... Like, I mean, I'm very comfortable here. Let's get my knight in. Why not? Why not? Love it. I am the last standing lover of the Tennyson Gambit. The Tennyson Gambit's good, I think. Let me remember if I... Tennyson Gambit's fun. I am more of a Lasitsin guy. Which is the Tennyson Gambit, but against the Dutch. Mm-hmm. He wants an attack. Change of plan, fellas. We're going back with the knight. I'm playing knight to f8. Knight to f8, there is no mate. With a knight on f8, there is no mate. Let's go. I will never get checkmated. I'm heckin' invincible. Infiltrate with rook? I'm infiltrating with queen. Forget the rook. Checkmate? Never heard of it. I like rook c1 than queen c6. That might have been better. I could see that as being better. To be fair, I'm playing a little lazy right now because I have a noticeable advantage. I see BM works if your opponent is... Oh, come on. That's mean. So, Ancients, is this satisfactory for your lust for Caro-Kann blood? Very much. Good. I mean, I'm doing a decent job at it. I usually play worse when someone asks for an opening. The Caro-Kann requires a certain je ne sais quoi. It's a particular opening. It's not a bad opening, it's just particular. I'm going to let him take on b7 because I'm not afraid of this because I'm just going to play queen f4. Queen f4. I'll tell you what I want to play. I want to play g5. Very badly. Very, very badly. Society can't stop me from playing bad moves. I'm playing g5. Don't see the follow-up? g5 is the follow-up. Society can't stop me from playing bad moves. I'm playing g5. This was my follow-up. It's a little bit psychotic, so it might be terrible. But my point is, queen h4 mate, what do you do? It's a little bit barbaric, but I'm nothing if not a little bit barbaric. Even if I'm playing an opening as dry as the Caro, I can't help but be a little bit psycho. Queen b4? So not check, mate, die. Queen h4 is mate, void. Because the knight can't take, it's pinned. Queen h4 is mate in 1. Queen e4? Rook takes knight? No, rook takes knight doesn't work. Okay, I just take the queen and I play the endgame. Worst case scenario. If I don't have anything better, I can just play the endgame. I might have something better though, I'd have to calculate. Which I am doing right now. Because it's still, like, really suspicious. The entire thing is just... Like, Queen C1, for example. Oh, that can't be good. So I go here to not give him any more checks. Yeah, I think Queen E4 is a better try, but then I think I had Queen C1. Ooh, that's a sneaky move. That's a sneaky move. Okay, give me a second. I refuse to believe that he is not immediately checkmated. Because, like, I take, pawn takes, queen takes, king h2. Like, come on, guys. He still doesn't have a check, by the way. h5 is possible, but it doesn't threaten anything because queen g4 just goes back king h2. So h5 is decent, but it doesn't have a threat. Which I might not need a threat, but it doesn't have one. Give me just a... I have 6 minutes on the clock. I have some time to think about this position. So rook takes, pawn takes, queen takes. Try queen g4, knight f4. Okay, but it's still not mate. It's still threatening mate. It's a bit slow to be threatening mate. Maybe I'll go for it, but I'm just calculating rook takes f3 first. Because rook takes f3 is the most direct, and it might just win. It looks like it just wins. Because, like, here's my thought process, right? Rook takes, pawn takes, queen takes, king h2, only move. And then I go knight f4. And now I'm threatening mate in 1 here. And, like, how do you stop that? The queen can go... I don't think you can. It looks like forced mate. Unless I'm missing something. How do you stop mate on g2? Right? Because you can't even play queen g5 because my pawn's guarding g5. Right? That's my point. I can almost pre-move it. I can't because you can still play queen g5 and mess with me, but... I don't think it's possible. What a goofy game. See, even when I play the Caro-Kann, I make it exciting. That's just my skill. It's my... I found it. I mean, you might have, like, queen h8, but... Queen 8, h7, mate? Ah, right, of course, naturally. GG, someone. Come on, guys. Come on, my Caro-Kann, kinda nice. My Caro-Kann, kinda epic. They never expect the Alco Caro. 90.9. Ooh. Ooh. No major mistake. Just clean. 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 Okay. So this is all theory. Was c5 correct? We'll find out. Okay, so here's the thing, Void. In this position, c5 is also a move. There's two main lines of the Caro-Kann. There's the bishop f5 version, and then there's the c5 immediately version. These are two main lines. Both are playable. Both are good. They have wildly diverging theory. Just pick which one you know. And pick which one you like. Right? It's a stylistic choice. That's why I almost played this at the start. I went like, and then I decided to go bishop f5. Because it's a little bit slower, and I think the line suits me more than c5. Knight f3, e6, knight e7, castles. c5 immediately was a little incorrect. I should have played h6 first, which makes sense. We'll be able to retreat the bishop to h7. c5 first was a little optimistic. But okay, c5, not the end of the world, still in the spirit of the position. It just allows the immediate c4. But he played c3. I went knight e7, rook e1, knight c6. Okay, normal maneuver. It's a little weird looking to put this knight on e7 and go here, but okay. It's the Caro-Kann. The point of the Caro-Kann is you have very solid structures. You can afford to go for goofy maneuvers that take too long, right? That's the whole point of the opening is you play c6, c5. Bishop e3, queen b6, b3, sure. Bishop e7. So another thing, if you're playing the Caro-Kann as white, you have to not be afraid to give up this pawn. There are so many lines where I get my queen trapped here, man. This is like, this is very important stuff. You get the knight in, I get the queen trapped. That pawn is often poisoned, so it's not as threatened as it looks. B3, just, I don't know, I don't like B3. I don't think it helps your position. I would prefer queen D2. Or queen C1 if you want to play knight D2. Either way, B3 doesn't look correct to me. Knight B2, okay, castles, knight F1. I like this maneuver. It's a little bit not in the spirit of the Caro, because what does the knight even do on G3? It's more of a Ruy Lopez or an Italian idea, because in the Italian or Ruy Lopez, this knight is very good, because either they play G6 and weaken their kingside pawn structure and open holes, or they don't play G6 and you get to play knight F5 and you win the game on the spot, because the pawn's on E5. But in this position, the pawn's on E6, so this knight isn't as good. It's not as dangerous for me. And additionally, even if I do play G6, if I somehow trade off this bishop and play G6, I can just move my rook and go bishop F8. And it's not that scary. So the knight on G3 I don't think is as good in this as it would be in a Spanish. Okay, see? Knight G3, bishop G6, H4, H6, okay. Queen D2. I see the idea. You're going for like some weird knight G5 stuff, maybe sacrifice. The problem is you allow bishop B4. But here, if you just play knight takes, we'd be chilling. I think I would have played bishop C5. That was the move I was thinking. And then after knight takes C6, I was planning rook takes. I don't know if it's good. This is my intention. And then I bring my other rook to C8, and I was going to stack up on the C file. That was my plan. Now, evidently, you go bishop F1. I go, like, rook C8 here. And then you play rook AD or something. I don't know, rook AC. No, I have D4 there. So you have to play rook AD to prevent me from having D4. So I take, and you play like queen takes or something. No, you have to play rook takes, sorry. And this looks uncomfortable. I prefer black here. But it is probably equal. It's very difficult for me to make any real progress. Get a row and then 1 8 in a row and then beat 3 2100s. Emotional roller coaster, huh, 10? Actually, let me close the queue. It's already 10:30. I need to make sure I'm out of here. Got things to do tomorrow. Anyway, CX. But CX immediately lost bishop b4, and you just overlooked bishop b4. Already before this, I think I was doing better. I think I had gotten a successful opening, but it would have been more of a fight. After c4, after c takes, yeah, for sure. You just reminded me to 10. It wasn't because of you. I don't care if you would have joined. CXD, bishop b4, queen d1, bishop takes e1, queen takes e1. And now you're just completely losing. It's funny, knight back to d7. How goofy of an idea is that? I'm like, ooh, I'm going to come to c6. And then you play this, I'm like, I'm no longer coming to c6. Because I want to go knight f1, knight f8, and avoid all mate. That's the kind of saying in chess. Knight f8, there is no mate, right? Because the knight on f8 guards the important g6 and h7 squares. And so it's very difficult, and it also blocks the back rank from any checks. It's very difficult to checkmate with the knight there. It's very passive on that square, but it's amazing defensively. So, e4, dx, knight takes, queen c6. I don't remember who said rook c1 check. Rook c1 check would have been fine. But I like that my intuition was correct. The queen getting in here is more important because the queen on f4 is very strong. That's kind of what I foresaw. I think it was you, Void, who was talking about the rook move first. The reason I didn't play during the game is the reason Stockfish gives, which is this queen is terrible. It wants to be on f4. And so if I go here, 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 I get to f4. Versus if I go rook c and then this, and then I go queen c6, I can't easily get to f4 or any more active posts. c6 is where I'm going to stay. And while that's not terrible, I still have a big advantage. I'm not going to attack him from with the queen on c6. It's just not that strong a piece. So my point of queen c6 was to get the queen on f4. Which is what happened. And then rook c3 is just activating the rook first. And then queen f4. And now this queen is amazingly placed. And the rook is amazingly placed. And so king h3. g5 was excellent. Ah, I'm so glad this move worked. I'm so happy this move worked. It's very in the spirit of the position. You just simply don't have enough pieces to attack with. The knight on f8, there's no attack. And then h takes, knight takes. Which, there's not a whole lot you can do. I'm threatening mate immediately. Now, you were saying queen e4, which is definitely a better try. Worst case scenario, I do this, and I say, okay, I'm taking this pawn. Enjoy this endgame. And you are not going to enjoy this endgame. a3. A3, rook A2, A4, knight F4, king G3, knight E2, and then I take this, and eventually I take this, and I'm just going to be up a billion pawns, and it's going to be a very difficult endgame. Kanye dropped? I have heard. I have not listened to it yet, but I've heard that he did drop. So that was my worst case. I was trying to find a better move than that, because I didn't want to have to deal with that endgame. Honestly, I was trying to be lazy. So I was trying to justify like a queen C1 or something, which even this works evidently, but you have big king G3, it's hilarious. Want to hear my opinion? Absolutely, I do. And my plan was H5. No idea if this is good, but this was my idea. And this is very psycho, but I like it a lot. Again, in the spirit of the position. But okay. Here, queen b8 is just force mate. And you can go queen a8 here. And then queen takes a, and then king g3. And so technically you're not getting mated, but like, come on. Come on. Evidently, rook c1 was a slightly faster checkmate. I don't know, man. This just was very forcing to me, and I was forcing, so I was winning. Clean. The move you suggested in this position was h5, I believe. Which after queen f6 is a little more challenging. Queen g4, check king h2. And you can probably go h4. It's just... I just don't want to have to deal with this, honestly. I'm just lazy. I didn't want to have to calculate all this. Probably would have worked, but I think rook takes f3 was forcing. More forcing. Now, evidently, rook c1 was best. Evidently. Because just rook h1 is unstoppable. Which, fair enough, I suppose. But, I don't know. I think rook takes c1 works too. It's giving it mate in 20. Mate in 19. Which, okay. Mate in 19, I'll take it. Yeah, mate in 17. Okay, we're chilling. Good game of chess. He just overlooked that unfortunate tactic. But even then, in the opening, he was playing a little bit... He kind of had the wrong idea. You have to plan for c4 here with white. That's your major way to break through. And the point is, if you can take this, then I've got some major weaknesses and whatnot. So like c4, I go probably d takes c, and then you go like knight c3, and you could push this, and it's like a whole thing. I've listened to the album once, and music has a tendency to grow on me. Right now, I think it's between a 6 to 7 out of 10 for me. I felt the production was good, but some of the tracks felt a bit off. Also, some vocals were off-key. Honestly, good verse from North, some very questionable bars from Kanye, though. Sounds like a Kanye album. Here, let's just say a bit anti-Semitic. Yeah. It sounds like... certified Kanye hater moment. It just sounds like a Kanye album to me. Worst bars yet? Oh. Oh, that's impressive. Did I hear my name? Yes, but not in a good context. Unless the anti is for anti-Semitic, in which case, I applaud your recovery. Okay, after someone, who did we say was next? It was Penguin. Is Penguin still here? I love some of the bars on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I do too, but I also hate some of the bars on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Is Red Penguin still here? That game took a while, because it's a game against another strong opponent, an opponent very close to me in strength, and so it was a fight. My dad loves Late Registration. I haven't listened to Late Registration. I've heard good things. I've listened to College Dropout. Oh no, I've listened to Graduation. Sorry, I've listened to Graduation, and I've listened to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Those are the two Kanye albums I've listened through all the way. And I liked My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy more than I liked Graduation, but what's KSG? Kids See Ghost? Oh. Yeah. Is that an album? It felt like an EP. It's only like 6 songs. I could see how My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is a bit overrated. It's got some lulls. I love the highs on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy are amazing, but it's got some lulls. It's got some low points, you know? Kids See Ghosts, I could see it. The production on Kids See Ghosts is spectacular, but some of the songs I just don't like the way they flow. Okay, Pingwing isn't here. Moving on. Void's turn. Hey, Enzo. How are you holding up? I'm planning on listening to like 808s and Heartbreak at some point, because I've heard that's a very influential album, and those tend to be some of the albums I like best. Kids See Ghosts might be a 10 out of 10. I could see that. I don't have any 10s out of 10s. I don't really believe in them from a philosophical perspective. Wow, back, so Blundered Mate 3 times. Nice. I'm excited. Okay, so far so good. What on earth is your opponent cooking? I've had people play this against me, man. This stuff is weird. I still have no idea how to play against it. I switched to the Dutch, so I don't have to deal with it anymore. Yeah, well, it'll be your turn very soon, Void, because I don't think Juri is still here, or Yuri. I'm not sure if the J is pronounced or not. Yuri is not still here, so I think you'll be next. Post-punk. You want post-Soviet, post-punk, next to synth-pop. You should listen to Mokat Dome. I've heard about them. I have not. Joy Division was a little dry to me. Like, I could absolutely see why someone would resonate with it, but I did not. The closest thing I like to post-punk is, like, I enjoyed Cave World. Which, is Cave World post-punk? Or are they just punk? That might just be punk. But even then, I only enjoyed like half of Cave World. Yeah, I think they're just punk. I have not listened to Talking Heads or much other new wave. Pop oriented? That makes sense. Punk isn't a genre that I've listened to much of, whatever subgenre it may be. Talking Heads, they're one of the greats. Oh yeah? Might do. Post-punk is not really punk. That's fair, I guess. H5, G5. What a weird position. I mean, your opponent sacrificed a whole piece for it, and I don't think he's got compensation. It's closer to other forms of music. Then, if you don't mind my asking, stupid question, why is it called post-punk? What is the name referring to, then? Nice. Nice. Did your opponent not see this? That's hilarious. And then you blundered it again. And then you blundered it again. And he missed it every time. Well, good thing your opponent doesn't do their tactics. What a weird game of chess, man. I've learned it 3 times. Based. Ooh, I like the pawn push. See, this is a nice kind of thing that you'll find people do a lot as they get stronger. Is kind of like, okay, I can't do anything, let me just push a pawn. If I have a passer, that's one of the reasons passers are so good in general. is because if you don't know what to do in your position, if you have a passer, just pushing it will put so much pressure on your opponent that they have to move a piece or two to go defend it. And then when they move a piece or two to go defend it, SpaghettiOs, suddenly their weakness can't be defended anymore. And that's like in this position. This position, there's not an easy way to break through here. There's probably is a way, but it's not easy. So why not just push a pawn? Now he has to move something to defend it, and you can take. It really makes the position a lot easier. Case in point. Now the game's over. What a weird game. This whole system, this whole F3, G4, H4 system is super weird. Like, it makes some sense. There's, like, some philosophical justification. But it's really bizarre. I like it. Okay, Yuri I don't think is still here. I have a Yuri 57123. In which case, we go to Antience. Antience. Yeah, we go to Antience, who's the last one in queue, I believe. Yep. Hello there, Dane. Play H5, but I saw a ghost. Was the ghost something like G5? I think G5 was the ghost, yeah. Spooky. G5 is a little scary looking, in your defense. Okay, so post-punk came out of the punk scene, but with a lot of other influences. It thought of punk as a bit shallow and focuses more on existential questions and mental being or deeper subject or allegories than normal punk. Post-punk generally has a darker tone and, in my opinion, more interesting production than standard punk rock. It's a bit slower with a lot of focus on bass lines and some experimentation with, for example, echoing guitars and the like. It's really more close to other forms of, like, progressive rock or something. Which I'm not a huge prog rock guy, so that probably explains that. Rock than punk. So is a critical attitude that punk has. Most other things are stripped away, I'd say. That makes sense. I appreciate it. Not really prog rock? Fair enough. My logic was my opponent was more knowledgeable about the opening, so I tried to play a bit weird. Your logic worked. You got an excellent position out of the opening. It's a genre of itself. Well, I know it's a genre of itself. I'm just saying it's like staggering the fence between prog rock and punk rock. That's kind of my point. Because I haven't listened to much prog, but the little prog I have is like more existential with more varied production. Because I don't know much about the Jagoran. I don't know much about the Jagoran either. Also, is this a fried liver I see? Here we go. Antien's playing fried liver. Okay, now I'm looking for it. Now I'm excited. Do you know synth pop? I know a little bit of synth pop. Let me Google it to make sure. Cry about it. No, based. Yeah, like Pet Shop Boys and Kraftwerk. Yeah. Yeah. Aha. Right. Capital cities. No, I got you. Bastille. Is Bastille synth pop? How's Bastille synth pop? Synth from that era? Yeah, that makes sense. Bastille can't be synth pop. I refuse to accept that. Anyway. Cooked liver. Yeah, this is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. And the opponent played the wrong move anyway. Let's go. Let's go. Aw, come on. No fun. You have to play king e6. You have to play king e6 if you're playing this line. You have to go all the way in. You have to commit. Develop the king. King e7? King e7 is just wrong. King e7's illegal. He deserves to lose just because of that. Postpone something that, as new, last one's dated. Go for it. People recommend songs all the time. Even if you don't think I'll like it, I don't care. Makes it more interesting. Is knight c3 the follow-up? Yes. And then like knight b4. This is like fried liver stuff. It's psychotic. Knight d4, knight before knight e7 will playable, I think. Yeah, that makes sense. I like knight b4 board. It's more in the spirit of the position, but okay. This almost sounds like sticking The Cure. Sounds a bit like The Cure. I'm not psycho from thinking that, right? Jackie down the line, I mean. King D1, knight B5. Yeah, it's crazy. I got it wrong. Kind of lost out post-punk. That makes sense. That makes sense. It's not the same, obviously. It's different. It's different music. But I'm just saying, I feel like it shares some aesthetic qualities. King D1. King D1, I play C6. Because I don't want to allow knight B5. Well, there you go. So that's why it sounds like The Cure. I haven't listened to much of The Cure either. I tried going through Love Song, I believe. Not Love Song. What's the name of the album? It's not... And while I enjoyed it, I got a little burnt out. I like this. This I like more than... Jackie down the line I like more than I liked anything from Unknown Pleasures. Oh, they are a bit darker, more punk-like vocals. Yeah, no, this is definitely more punk vocals than it is than The Cure is. No, I could see it. Again, I listened through like half of Unknown Pleasures. But again, like, you can hear it. I can tell what you're talking about. Because the instrumentation sounds a lot like The Cure, but the vocals are a lot more punk sounding, right? They've got like that almost whine to them that you hear in the punk that you don't hear at all in The Cure. New Dawn Fades? I don't think I did. I'll tell you where I got to. No, I didn't make it there. I think I got through Insight and then I quit. Let me check. I don't know if I see the lyrics. Yeah, no, I did not listen to New Dawn Fades. I just got to Insight, and then I stopped there after listening through Insight, because I was like, makes sense. Can you castle off to knight b4? Maybe. Probably. You castle and I play c6. Weird stuff. But either way, king e7 is definitely wrong. You can castle. Bishop e4. Good stuff on Antien's part. c6, d4. I like d4 a lot. Your king is in the center. Let me rip it open. Queen takes. Oh. c3. We got another piece. Knight c3. Bishop g5 check. Queen f6. Just let me in. All my pieces are developed. You deserve death. Ooh, that's nice. That's nice. That's a pretty ending. I get discussing, but I promised to play with some friends. So I have to go. Have a great time. If you have anything you wish to discuss musically, just hit me up. Absolutely. I appreciate it. You really have a taste in music that no one else I know does. And so it's really nice being able to have it because it's another perspective, you know? It's very easy to get into an echo chamber. So I appreciate the unique perspective. That's a nice checkmate. That's a pretty game. That's a nice way to end it. You know what? I like it. Just a good old fashioned fried liver beatdown. You love to see it. The second album is pretty different from the first album. I think you may like it. I should probably try to stop selling you something you obviously don't love that much. It's not that big of a deal. I'll listen to it. What's the big deal? Listening to something I don't like? Oh, big deal. Now I know I don't like it, so if someone asks, I have an opinion. Like, what do I lose from it? Goodness gracious. I'm not offended when I don't like something. I just move on with my life. Which Closer is their second album, right? I'll dig into that later. I'll also grab Fontaine's DC. I'm always looking for new stuff. I'm looking for new stuff to listen to. Let's see. The album you said to listen to was Skinny Fia. Skin Tifia, sorry. Ciao. Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll let you know. Okay, I've got both of those and I'll listen to those at some point. Yeah, okay, now who are we rating? That's what I was looking at before. Chess Dojo, you got PB Gains. Welsh Canadians not streaming chess. You got Thinker Teacher. Thinker Teacher's good from an educational perspective. I think we'll rate Thinker Teacher. I like rating Thinker Teacher. It makes me feel like I'm doing something with my viewers. Good night, Void. Appreciate you stopping by and hanging around for so long. Ciao.